Hello, welcome to the Football Social with Sky Bet. We are live right now for a watch-along special for, of course, the FA Cup final between Manchester City and Watford. Delighted to say, making his debut finally on the show, it's Jamie O'Hara, everyone. Here he is. Jay, what's in the finals?
You didn't want me, did you?
Not true at all. There you can see Billy Town player and assistant managers, loads that we're going to get in throughout the course of the show with you. But firstly, let's talk about the cup final. Big game for both teams today.
Huge game, yeah. I mean, for Watford, it's a real special day for them, and obviously Man City going for, well, the quiet quadruple is what they're saying, isn't it? You know? But yeah, I mean, what a day. I've been lucky enough to play in an FA Cup final, and it is a real special day. It's the best final to play in terms of the English Cups that you want to be involved in.
The English domestic Cups, alongside you, of course, Michael McCubbin back on the show. Michael, thanks for coming back on. Now, you, of course, are a big Man United fan, so no guesses who you will be supporting today.
Big Watford fan. Just in general, just a big Watford fan. Yeah, really want to see them do well today. So yeah.
Do you think they can do it?
I think they can. I think. I mean, it really depends what happens. Like in the first 20 minutes, I think if City could run away with it, but I think if Watford hold on for like the first 20 minutes or so, could see something happen.
Yeah, could see something happen. From one side of Manchester to the other. James Wayne back on the show, should I say, representing a very old school Man City shirt.
It's not an original. It was bought off the City shop a few years ago.
Okay.
So I just want to put that out there. It's not from the 90s. But yes, it's.
Give us some of the players that would have been rocking that back in the day.
I want to say like the Niall Quinns, the Paul Lakes.
Yeah,
he's. Got a great book if you ever want to read
it.
Is he?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit. And of course, big City fan, going for the domestic treble. Big day for your beloved Man City today.
I mean, this season's just been phenomenal. Follow on from last season. I can't complain in the slightest about what Pep's been doing. Today, hopefully another trophy. But Watford, I mean, they're a team I really wouldn't like to play in the final. Just for the fact there's so much heart. They're on the up. They're a really good team. Javi Garcia, great manager. So it's not going to be an easy day. But
yeah, it's going to be. We were chatting off camera. One to call this. We're going to show you our prediction in a minute, but of course, big part of the show, Ash is in social corner. As you all know by now, the chat is governed by you guys at home. Ash, how can our viewers get in touch, and what do you want them to say today?
Well, get in touch at SoccerM, at Football Daily, using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Get on YouTube, get in the comment section. We're going to do a live Q&A with Jamie O'Hara at half-time as well, so get your best questions in for that too. And I'll ask all the questions to our esteemed guests.
Yes, OK. So Q&A with you at half-time, Jamie. Loads to talk about with you.
Loads.
You said anything. We can ask you absolutely anything.
Anything.
So you can ask Jamie O'Hara absolutely anything. So get typing right now. No such thing as a bad question. Of course, it would not be the Football Social without the Football Social predictor. Let's have a look at what our panel predicted. So here we go. This is the group bet with our mates at Sky Bet. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. All odds are live and subject to change. So, James, you've gone 4-1. Man City, look at that, with first goal scorer, Aymeric Laporte. You can get odds of 260 to 1 for that. Michael McCubbin, unsurprisingly, with his Man United hat on, has gone for Sterling to score first, but Watford to win 3-2. That is 400. I've gone for Troy Deeney to score first, but Man City to win 3-1. That is at 200 to 1. Ash has gone for 2-2. Draw with Bernardo Silva to score first. That's 155 to 1. Jamie has gone 2-2. Gundogan to score first, which you can get 185 to 1. Interestingly, Jamie O'Hara changed his prediction when you saw the starting lineup, didn't you?
Yeah, just because I see Aguero was on the bench, De Bruyne's on the bench, Sané's on the bench. So I think Watford have got a chance now. I really do.
And that does bring us nicely on to the starting 11. Let's have a look at the Man City team. So this is the Man City side that is lining up in the FA Cup final. Ederson in goal. Of course, Man City blessed with options all over the park, but a couple of surprise omissions. Walker, Company, Laporte and Zinchenko make up the back four. Jamie, get your thoughts on this team in a minute. Bernardo Silva, Gundogan and David Silva. But is this the area you were slightly surprised about? Mahrez, Jesus and... not surprised to see Sterling there, but when you look at the players that Man City have on the bench, Aguero, De Bruyne, Sané, some big omissions there from Pep.
Yeah, massive. I think Aguero's been obviously their catalyst and has been a real special player for them. De Bruyne, when he's been fit, has been unbelievable for them as well. I mean, look, whoever they put out is a special side. You can't get away from Jesus, who's the Brazil number 9. So he's a special player. Mahrez has been, he scored a great goal the other weekend, but the fans haven't really took to him in terms of the others. So, I think Sané's a real special player as well, and I think he should be playing a lot more than he does. And It's interesting. It's going to be, you know, I've watched Man City quite a bit because Tottenham's gave them a couple of spankings, so so I've watched them. So if you can compact the midfield, and you know Watford, I think play a diamond. So I think if they can compact that midfield and stop that the domination that they have on the ball, then I think Watford might have a good chance.
Got to get a Man City's perspective on that team news, because we were in the green room when that broke, and there are some surprise omissions, and the bench, such a strong bench. Are you surprised that Mahrez is starting, that Aguero's not? There's a few interesting selections, shall we say?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Mahrez starting. I'm not that surprised with, because, I mean, he started against Brighton. That was our most important game of the season. And I think, as Jamie said, he's with the fans, he's been getting a bit of stick. He hasn't been taken to like everybody else. He isn't seen in the same favour as the rest of the squad. And for me, I see this as another way to get him back on the good books, you know, stake his claim of why he's at Man City. He hasn't had the best first season, but hopefully this game, as last did, will kind of, you know, sort that out.
Yeah, and of course we were on air with the Football Social last week. Had Sean Goater on. He actually singled out Mahrez and said this isn't Pep Guardiola giving him a game. I think he'll have a big point to play in that game against Brighton. And of course he was right. Mahrez did score, had a very good game. So we'll see how that unfolds for Man City today. Let's have a look at Watford's starting lineup. Here we go. Gomez in goal. Firmino, Mariappa, Craig Cathcart and Holebas. Interestingly, Holebas did have that red card against West Ham, which would have meant he would have been ruled out for this game, but it has since been overturned. So he plays. Hughes, Decore, Capu, Pereira, Delafeu and let's pick the bones out of this, Jamie. Firstly, former teammate of yours, of course, in goal, Gomez, which is a big talking point, because their number one, Ben Foster, who's had a brilliant season, is not their cup keeper. So Gomez stakes his place. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I mean, they're talking about, obviously, Gomez has been brilliant for them, and it's maybe his last game in football. So I think it's going to be a real special day for him anyway. Just hopefully, you know, he can be a little bit prone to a clanger, right? You know, because I've had him in goal and he's threw a couple in. And
I love how honest he'll be straight away. We're 2 minutes into this.
So, if he concentrates for, 95 minutes, then he's absolutely brilliant. But he can, I think Man City will probably look at him to maybe potentially make a mistake. But yeah, as I said, I think Watford play a diamond. When I've watched them before, they play like a tight, compact midfield. Hughes comes in off the right, and they tuck in, and they're really compact. And Tottenham played that against Man City in the semi-final in the Champions League, and they stifled their midfield, and it really affected the way Man City played. So that's why I think Watford have got a real good chance today.
That's an interesting point. I want to pick up on that. You think that was a big part of Tottenham progressing against Man City because of that aspect of the game?
Yeah, because the tactical approach you have against Man City is they're so good, and Pep can change it at any time. And, you look at Man City and you always think the way that they play, they get it wide and they want to play wide, but actually it's the midfield that dominates the game. Their fullbacks tuck in, the three in midfield all play like together, and it's all tight. So Tottenham stifled that. They played four in midfield. They didn't let them. They didn't let their midfield get on the ball very well, and that's why I think Tottenham went through, because they played like a real tight, compact, and I think that's the way Watford play as well.
Yeah, interesting to see how that pans out in the midfield battle. Of course, we've got some selected odds with our friends at Sky Bet. As always, once again, you must be 18 plus, full terms and conditions apply. These are the odds that you can get Sterling to have 3+ shots on target. That was 4-1. That is now 8-1. So big price boost with our friends at Sky Bet. Some other odds that might take your fancy. Gerard Delafeu to score first, 16-1. Don't forget, famously left on the bench for the semi-final against Wolves, came on, scored 2. That man of the match performance, no surprises to see him starting today. Gabriel Jesus to score first and City to win 2-0, 25-1. Company to score first and City to win 3-0, 105-1. Deeney to score first. Going to come to McCubbin here, who's supporting Watford today. Deeney to score first, Watford to win 2-1, 350-1, Michael.
That's a pretty good shout, I'd say. That's actually a pretty good shout. I'd put a quid on that if
It's not bad. There you go. We can also show you the routes to the final, because this is very interesting. This is Man City's routes.
Yeah. Crazy.
And Jamie, you want to make a point about this, because it's fair to say that it's not been the toughest route that you've ever seen to an FA Cup final, this, is it?
I mean, if you look at that and you see where Man City are as a team and the teams that they're playing, no disrespect to them teams, but none of them are a top 10 Premier League side. No. And, I think they had the similar kind of route with the League Cup as well. So they had a really easy route. For me, that's the easiest route you could probably ever take to get to a final.
And compare that to Watford's. This is Watford's route to the final. Slightly tougher, James. I know that you're a City fan, but you will agree that this is a slightly tougher route they had. Tight game against Wolves in the semis, of course. Crystal Palace, narrow game in the 6th round as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've had more Premier League, 3 Premier League teams and a non-league team in there. Just for the... I would have liked Woking to win that game. Just for the fact that I'm a big fan of non-league
You're
football.
a big non-league fan, yeah.
So we've got a lot of ties to Hampton and Richmond. Some quite controversial, but we'll move on. No one wants to hear about non-league football. But I mean, the Wolves game in particular, that game really shows why they deserve to be in the FA Cup. I mean, Wolves are definitely not an easy team to play. Absolutely fantastic season. Great players, great manager once again. Watford in a similar position, mid-table, but I mean, they're fantastic.
Right, here we go. Kick-off is imminent. Jamie, you've got to get your thoughts on this. We are seconds away from the FA Cup final. You have played in this game for Portsmouth. Just give us an insight what this is like the seconds before an FA Cup final kicks off.
The worst part of it is like the lead up, because you're so nervous, you're not thinking about it. But as a player, once you step over that white line and the whistle goes, your natural instincts take over. You're concentrating on the game, you're concentrating on your job. You don't think about the people that are watching, you know, you're just on the pitch and your instincts are just in charge. And I mean, these players have been doing it at the top level for a long time now, so they know what's at stake. And yeah, it's a real special moment, playing at Wembley in front of all them fans and a massive game. Yeah, I was really lucky and privileged to play in an FA Cup final.
And what's it like before, like the night before, the build-up? I mean, it must be so hard just to focus on anything else other than...
How do you sleep? How do you sleep on the eve of an FA Cup final?
There's two games I didn't sleep in. One was my debut for the night before we played Arsenal at the Emirates, and it was my full debut for Tottenham.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And I didn't sleep a wink. And, you know, the other game was the FA Cup final because I was at Portsmouth. I was kind of like the player there that was all looking at to do something. And I actually played with a fractured spine.
Did you?
Yeah, I had an injection three weeks before. Didn't play leading up to it. I'd actually broke my back. So Man City have got an early
corner
chance.
for Watford. Oh, so City, sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Half chance. Big first chance corner.
Come on, boys.
Corner for Man City. The danger is cleared. Watford looking to counter straight away as it dies down. Big start to the FA Cup final. So Jamie, just picking up on that, you played with a fractured spine, did you say?
Yeah, I had a fractured spine. It really hurt. But the pain was way worse not playing in that final. You know, so I had to get out there, and it was, you know, something I'd always dreamed of as a kid, to play in an FA Cup final. So I wasn't missing that game for nothing. And I was out for 9 months afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had a really serious operation on my back afterwards, and probably kind of tarnished my whole career in terms of fitness.
I love the face laughing at that.
Yeah, but it was, you know, I got to play in an FA Cup final.
Yeah.
So...
Wow, what a story that is.
Amazing. Just watching this, you know, like Watford, they're playing exactly how Tottenham started. They'll sit in, they'll counter-attack, and they'll try and play through the middle.
This is exactly the point you made, James, wasn't it, at the start? The way that Tottenham set up in the midfield. You think this is going to be a key area for Watford today?
Look, it's a key area. Straight away, what Man City are trying to do is they try and win it back, and then they try and play forward quick into the front men, and then they play off around that. If you can stop the midfielders getting the ball early, that's when you can control the middle of the park, and Watford have set up exactly how I thought they would, the same as Tottenham. And when you win it back, if you play in a diamond and you win it back and you pass forward straight away and you play direct, that's when you can get at the team. And you can see that straight away. Watford have had a couple of good chances to get in their final third.
Yeah, James Wayne has leant forward on his chair. The confidence was pouring from his face at the start. A couple of minutes in, you've quietened down a bit. How are you finding it?
I always give it the big uns before a game. When it's actually on, go quiet. To be fair, Watford do kind of unnerve me. The fact that, you know, they're quite a big-hearted team. They're physically big, a lot bigger than our team.
That's an important issue, actually, isn't it? That can be a key area as well, the physicality in the game. I mean, City aren't a massive team.
Like, it was against Brighton at the end of the season. You look at their team, I mean, corners were the main flaw for that game. And you had, Dunk, Duffy and
Laporte blazed over the bar from Amos Laporte there from distance.
Laporte could have been the first goal.
Yeah, you had that.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing we do lack on, because we had Zinchenko marking Glenn Murray, and that's an absolute mismatch.
Yeah.
So...
And he scored, of course.
Exactly,
Murray,
and it was Zinchenko trying to mark him, it just doesn't work. So corners, free kicks, they'll really kind of quieten me down, let's say. But I think, as long as we play our game, I mean, we've got Edison, who's virtually an extra player. So when it comes to pressing, hopefully they'll be excited for the first 10, 15 minutes of the pressing, keep us up, you know, on our toes, and then usually we see these games kind of die out. Possession game comes into it, push them into their own half, and I mean, unfortunately, I don't see. I mean, Delafeu's the main threat for them, in my eyes.
Class player, isn't he, Delafeu?
I mean, the one thing I can see happening quite a bit is the big ball. Deeney gets it down, put it onto Delafeu, who can just terrorise defences. So, yeah, I wouldn't like to see that. It'll really unnerve me.
The directness is
clear
to see, you know.
It is, isn't it? Watford very much there on the attack now, down the left-hand side. Interestingly, the 138th FA Cup, 138th final of the world's oldest football competition, of course. So that needs no bigging up the FA Cup final. Fantastic competition. But add to that, it is a historic day, Jamie, for both teams, because on the one hand, Man City could become the first team in Premier League history to do a domestic treble, and Watford have never won a major trophy in their history. So it's a historic day, whatever happens today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real special day for anyone. I mean, it's the FA Cup. I mean, anyone who says it's not a massive game and it's not a massive tournament, it is the most traditional tournament in the country, and you know, it's incredible what Man City have done really this season in terms of the way they've played, the way they've set about themselves, you know, the way Liverpool played this season, and everyone really...
97 points.
97 points, and you don't win the league, you can't take away how big of a feat that is from Man City to keep doing. I think they won 14 games on the spin.
14 in a row, correct.
So, I mean, it's incredible, really, the way they've done it. And to go and win a treble would just be, you know, the icing on the cake.
Yeah. And Michael, as great as Man City have been in recent years, this is the one competition, well, obviously the Champions League they haven't won at all, but in terms of recent success, the FA Cup has been one of the trophies that's eluded them, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, I guess they won it in 2011, didn't they, under Mancini? That was his first one, but they haven't won it since. Obviously, Wigan upset them in 2013. So, yeah, it's a big one for Guardiola as well, because I think I'm pretty sure he's come out on record before and said, you know, as a European kid or a kid in Spain, growing up watching football, loving football, that the FA Cup final was the only English game that you could watch, and that's kind of one of the reasons why so many European players love the FA Cup and whatnot, because that was the only game they actually could watch. So I think, I think it would mean a lot to him to win it as well.
Lively start as well, a few tackles flying in. James, got to talk about the not because me and Jamie are both Spurs fans here, but obviously you did lose to Tottenham in the Champions League, which we can just touch upon now.
I'd love to go through that.
On a serious note, the fact that you're out of the Champions League and this is the last match of football, does this give this particular fixture, this competition, even more important? Because
of course.
You don't have a Champions League final to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Champions League final would have been amazing to get to, and we were correctly. I say correctly. You know, we deserve to lose.
Oh, Chelsea City!
No, we did deserve to lose against Tottenham. I mean, if that VAR goal went in, it would have. If that VAR decision was incorrect or VAR wasn't there, I mean, it would have been a cruel way for Tottenham to go out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, this game, I don't want to say it, I really don't want to say it, but Company's been very coy about whether he's going to stay or not, whether he's going to, sign an extension or even just stay at the club in general. And for this to be his last game, it makes it so much more special and so much more gravity on it.
It's been a lively start.
Really risky from Gomez.
As the ball just goes out of play. Don't forget, Ash, a big role to play. Have we got any questions? Social media's been brilliant this season. Had some great questions. What are people saying on the stream?
Loads of questions coming in. Harris D, if City win the treble, how do you rank them against the United 99 team?
Ooh, good question.
They're not as good as the United 99 team at all.
Ash, would you like to remind the viewers on this camera here who you support, please?
Massive Man United fan. Come on, Watford!
There we go. Jamie, it's a good first question. I keep them coming as well. At SoccerM, at Football Daily, use the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Let's talk about them then. How good is this Man City team comparable to some of the great Premier League teams?
I didn't play against the 99 team, but I played against a really dominating Man United team, and this Man City team is the best team I've ever seen in the Premier League.
Ever seen?
Ever seen. I mean, what they're doing, week in, week out, the way they're playing, the goals they're scoring, the entertainment value of them. Yeah. I mean, they're incredible to watch. I mean, Man United growing up was the team that I always loved to watch. They were the team when I played against a team when they had Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, Scholes, Rio Ferdinand. I mean, the team was, they were dominating everyone. But this team, I think, is better.
And also, is a big part of it the management that Pep has, the man management. It's interesting, isn't it? Because they've got so many world-class players, but they all seem happy, even the ones that aren't playing.
Yeah,
even if you're on the bench at Man City.
And let me tell you, that is not an easy feat to keep to keep world-class players happy sitting on the bench. Yeah. It's not easy. These guys want to play. They want to be the number one. That's where they're at. That's why they're at these clubs. So what he does as a manager and the way he's got the team spirit and everything, not only has he got the best players in the world, he's got them playing with a team morale and a team spirit that is, you know, is clear to see that everyone's together. They die for each other on the pitch. You know, and that's down to Pep, the way he does things.
Did you ever have that in your career, that when you weren't playing, you found that your relationship with the manager became strained due to the fact that he wasn't playing you, and it led to awkward conversations?
Yeah, I had that. I mean, when I was a young kid, I was at Tottenham. I was in and out of the team. I was a bit like, you know, I'd play sort of 1 in 3, 1 in 4. And I got to the point where I was like, I want to play every week. I felt like I was good enough. And I realised very quickly that I weren't good enough. Because, so I was playing, you know, I was up against, you know, Modric and Bow. And
not a bad player.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad player. So really and truthfully, I should have been happy with my 1 in 3 games. But yeah, I mean, Harry Redknapp was a manager and I moved on, and I wish I'd stayed and been part of a squad, because, you know, even though you're not playing...
Go on, Dan, get him in, put him in, put him in!
Watford have got a big big first moment in the game. Watford 1-on-1. Exactly what Jamie was saying, with the counter straight through the middle. And it's a big moment in the game, Jamie O'Hara.
That is a huge chance. Huge chance. They've nicked it. They've tried to play through balls. Zinchenko's give it away. They've passed it. They've broke forward. They're streaming forward. I think it's...
Delafeu on
the right. Delafeu on the right,
pass.
passes it, puts it through the middle.
Should he score here for you?
Great save.
1-on-1 with Ederson.
Look at that
save. It's a good save, Pereira, but really and truthfully, he should hit the corner. He's hit it straight at his feet. And that's what I said, you know, when they get down the sides of him in the end, and they counter-attack, Pereira's playing on the left, and he's like the centre forward. Yeah. And that's where you can really hurt Man City. It's a great chance to go 1-0 up.
Michael, 10 minutes on the clock, big chance for Watford. You feel that against teams like City, you have to take your chances. Is that going to be a chance that Watford rue?
Maybe. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Sterling to score first and then Watford to win 3-2. I'm still confident of that. But now that is a huge chance. But like, I think that left channel is something that Watford can exploit. Obviously, Zinchenko's been playing pretty well there. I think he's got some ridiculous record where he's won every game with them. But he's not a specialist at left back, and I think they can exploit that. I think the full back positions can be exploited, especially with the technical ability of Pereira, with Will Hughes. Will Hughes is really good defensively as well, presses really well. So, I think this is a sign of things to come. I think Watford will get more chances like that. Maybe not as clear cut as that, but I think they will get more chances.
If you're going to have a weak link in Man City's team, you would say it's Zinchenko.
Yeah. You think that's the weak link for them in this starting 11?
In this starting 11, there's not many players in that team where you think, well, what can I do against him? But, you know, Zinchenko, for me, he's a young lad. He's still learning the game. He'll probably go and whip one in the top stanch now, but he's the one that they would look at before the game and say, this is a player that we can get at, we can expose that, and you can see that because when they won it, they tried to get round the back of him and down the side of him.
Oh, Charles is sitting now! Oh!
Zinchenko with a great ball.
Yeah. Going forward. Interestingly, that Sky Sports News are reporting that Brighton are to hold talks with Graham Potter. So that's interesting developments coming to us just now. We will, of course, keep you updated with that, believed to have triggered the release clause, and we will keep you updated with that. Another big chance for Man City. It's end-to-end stuff. Are you surprised how open this game is, James? Because at many cup finals, we've covered many cup finals on the Football Social, or big games amongst where the top six have been involved. And they tend to start quite cagey, where the teams are feeling each other out. But this has been end-to-end, this game.
I mean, this is what City need to overcome, this first kind of 15-20 minutes of high press, high energy from Watford, and then start to control the game. I'm not surprised how it started. I'm not surprised we've given a big chance away, because we've done it quite a lot this season. We've gone down quite often to I don't want to disrespect the clubs, but lesser clubs.
But teams that you'd expect it to be.
Teams you expect to roll over have, it's even in the Premier League, it's their cup final. Man City is the team to beat. And obviously for Watford, they want to impress and get themselves into the best stead they can for the rest of this game. So I'm not surprised the way they've started. Right now, oh God, it's started.
Another great Watford, loads of space.
It's happening again.
The ref has pulled it back. Watford are not happy with that. Once again, Watford getting a bit of joy on the counter-attack. Delafeu not happy with the referee there.
I think that's the way, like the way the season's gone in terms of the games are so open. We've been so used to over the years of games being first 20 minutes, 0-0, keep it cagey. But if you watch all the games this season, the Champions League games, the FA Cup games, it's been so end-to-end and so free-flowing. I think that's why the Premier League's been so brilliant this season to watch, because the teams have just gone for it.
Yeah. And the last 2 weeks, I mean, where do we even begin to talk about the last 2 weeks with what we've seen in the Champions League, the playoffs as well, the Vincent Kompany moment? It's been an incredible few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you turn around and say that football's not the best sport in the world, you're mad, honestly. If you watch the last couple of weeks of football, you know, not just the Premier League, the Championship playoffs, the League One playoffs, you know, the Champions League, it's been so special. And so, you know, I'm a massive Spurs fan and I'm really passionate, but I've literally been jumping up and down at any game because it's just been so good to watch.
Oh, he's fallen over.
City straight down the other end, fallen over.
Well defended.
And the danger is clear. Let's go back to Ash and Social Corner. Loads of questions I can see on his screen. Loads of questions coming in. Keep them coming. Get involved in the chat. Ash, what are people saying?
Football Daily regular Dave Jackson. Smithy and James Wayne, your haircuts are on point. There you go.
Thank you very much,
nice
Dave.
Shout out from Dave
Appreciate
Jackson.
that. Is there any detail into which haircut he prefers out of the two? Just both on
it's
point?
James Wayne's, mate. He actually hasn't mentioned you. I just did it.
Thank you, Ash.
Jess has asked, if Watford win this, is it a bigger shock than when Wigan beat City? No, it's not, because Wigan were going down, right?
Yeah.
They did go down, didn't they?
It still will be a massive shock, but I don't think it's quite on a par with the Ben Watson 1-0.
Watford are a good team.
Watford are a very good team.
A good side. They've had a great season.
I think James alluded to it earlier as well. This is not this is a team that you are fit. Even Manchester City fans who are used to glory and winning so many football matches, Watford is a team that you have that slight uncertainty about because of what they can do on their day.
There's a few teams this season that have done that, kind of the Wolves and the Watfords, who have, and Leicester, to be fair, have impressed against big teams. And I mean, you've seen it this season. You've seen it countless seasons that.
Gomez!
Gomez spilt it.
There's the clanger.
Come on that note, let's talk Gomez then. What's he like? What's he like in training, off the fit pitch? Guy?
You know what? He's an unbelievable guy. Top bloke.
A lot of people say that, yeah.
Really, really nice man. Nothing but nice things to say about him. But I mean, he's had an incredible career.
Yeah.
He's one of them keepers that would save something that would never be saved.
Yeah.
But then he'll be the guy that would. Throw one in as well, or drop one from a corner, or do something that try and flap at one. So I think that's just probably one that Man City will probably look at and think, if you test him, there might be that one that you get off him.
Two of my moments as a Spurs fan going to matches, actually, the most memorable ones that I can remember are the Real Madrid game where Ronaldo had that shot and he caught it and it literally dropped it into the back of the net. And then being behind the goal against Arsenal in the game that Spurs won 2-1, the first time that Spurs won in a while, Danny Rose has scored, making the most unbelievable save from Van Persie, from exactly what you were saying.
I think I remember,
the routine saves, but he has got so much in his locker when it comes to shot stopping. It was incredible. It was one of the best saves I've ever seen live.
Yeah, so I used to train after, and we used to do free kicks and shooting and that, and he always used to stay out. Normally it'd be like the second keeper or like the third keeper that would do the training after, but he would always stay out and do that. And he did used to pull off saves where you're like, oh my God,
really?
Like what a save. Like things that you'd never think would be saved. So, he's had a great career and he's 38?
Yeah.
I mean, to still be playing at this level, I know you're a keeper, but still to be playing at this level for that long is an incredible feat.
And it's a big talking point as well, don't forget, because let's not forget Ben Foster, who's had a great season, is their number one, as you mentioned earlier. He's stuck with him. And a great quote from Ben Foster saying if he was asked to play in an FA Cup final, which again for Foster would be a huge part of his career, he said absolutely not. Herrera Gomez deserves it. Just before we went on air, actually, I saw a photo that Ben Foster put on his Instagram saying we're in this together, and it was a photo of Gomez and Ben Foster. I just think the team spirit for the two keepers, it's just great to see that.
Yeah, it's incredible because there's only one space in a keeper. You know, if you're centre half, there's two places. You know, right back, full backs. You can play in different areas, midfield. But as a keeper, you're the number one or you're the number two. Yeah. So to keep themselves going and keep themselves motivated. Ben Foster's played in a cup, some big cup finals. He saved a penalty against me at one. So I'm glad he's on the bench.
Famous game though. That was obviously the iPad, wasn't it? I remember that was at that game as well.
Yeah, he had the iPad
Foster
out.
had the iPad out before the penalties, and one of the penalties he was watching was Jamie O'Hara's recent penalties. Yeah. You took a penalty against him.
I stepped up first,
and he saved it.
And I went the safe way, and he plucked it. And he said to me afterwards, while I was crying my eyes out, he went, "Unlucky lad, I knew where he was going." So, cheers, Ben.
Don't forget, we will be doing a Q&A with Jamie Hart at half-time, so get your questions in.
Yep.
It's still 0-0 stage, 18 minutes gone. Very open game. Let's go back to Social Corner. Ash,
one for...
can I just ask you what the opinion is from the City? What, for many City fans watching, are they optimistic? What is the vibe within the chat?
It's fair to say the comments think the City are going to walk this game comfortably.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish Watford had scored that goal now. A big chance. Question from Daniel Puig. Do you, on the Tottenham thing, do you expect Pochettino to stay another season? And if he does go, where does he go? Well, for two big
one.
Spurs fans here, so
Personally, if they win the Champions League, I think he'll go.
Do you think that?
Just
Why?
because he's took Tottenham to the pinnacle of the sport in terms of what you can win at club level, and he will look at it and think, I can't take this team any further. You know, and he can stay there for another 4 or 5 years. I mean, he'd have a job for life there because of what he's done so far.
Right, so.
But I think for himself, he would look at that and think, I'm not going to win the Premier League with Tottenham. You know, I don't think they're never, ever going to be quite close enough because Man United will come back. You know, Man City are going to dominate. And, you know, I just don't think they'll win a Premier League title. They'll always be a top 4 club. But to win the Champions League as a manager at a club like... You can't take a team any further.
However, Jamie, I know what you're saying, and it does worry me a little bit, that scenario. But do you not think if he wins the Champions League with Tottenham, the love that the Spurs fans and the relationship he has with the players, with the fans, where Tottenham are with the new stadium, the new training ground, the money that is believed to be invested in the squad this summer, that he will be able to do as whatever he wants at Spurs and have a job for life. And do you not see that side of it as well?
I do, 100%. I agree with you. I want him to stay. But I think, look, if they do win the Champions League, win or lose, you know, Tottenham are going to have to throw a lot of money at the squad to show him that they want to take the club. They've got the new stadium, which is unbelievable. The training ground's brilliant. I think they're going to have to throw 100 million at it and say, look, you sign who you want, you're in charge, you can do what you want.
Is 100 million enough these days?
Oh, chance for Watford!
A big chance.
Big chance!
Oh, I'll tell you what.
What's going on?
Not clear, another chance. They're appealing for a penalty.
No way that.
No handball. The referee's doing that signal, not a handball.
Probably, but
Watford players, Pereira surrounding the referee, not happy. Man City player goes down and he's given a Man City free kick and a yellow card for what looks like dissent. Watford players surrounding the ref. They
can't give that.
Certain this is a penalty. James Wayne, thoughts on this?
Watford, you know, despite this moment, have been playing fantastically the last 5 minutes.
Is this a penalty?
No.
It's Vincent Company, just to confirm, he's got his back to goal. He's turning around, but it does strike his arm.
You can't give that. He's too close. He's tucking his arms in. He's turning away.
Next season's
saying yes, it is a penalty. Company's saying no. What's James Wayne saying?
I'm saying no.
VAR would give that.
You think VAR gives that?
To be fair, this season, the Champions League, that probably would have been given.
Don't they say if your silhouette becomes bigger or something?
I mean, the rule of handball has changed. I don't think anyone really knows what it is anymore. I don't think anyone can definitively say that it's a handball or if it isn't.
Yeah, if you know what the rule of handball is, do let us know in the comment section below, because we do not know what's going on. But it was an interesting big talking point. Penalty not given. Watford not happy. Chance down the other end.
Oh, no,
Man City.
no.
It is all going. It's only 22 minutes gone, but what a cup final we are witnessing. It is end to end. Jamie, are you in agreement? You think it's not a penalty? I want to pick up on your point that you made, though. You don't think it was a penalty, but you do think VAR gives that in this day and age.
No, I think it's a penalty.
You do think it's a penalty?
No, I think it's handball.
Right.
I think it's hit him in the hand. It's going towards the goal. It's a great chance, and it's going in. So I think if the ball's going in the net, I think you have to give it. You know, I think that's flying in, and he stopped it from hitting the back of the net. I'd definitely say penalty. But I mean, my assumptions so far have been pretty good, haven't they? Gomez has dropped two. They're playing direct football, Watford. They're getting in. I mean, you see, I should be a manager.
Brilliant. Michael, let's assess first 20 minutes. It is end-to-end, isn't it?
It's been great.
It's surprising it's still 0-0.
Yeah, it is really surprising. I think, Watford probably regretted missing that chance. I don't know if I would give that personally, but I think the rules next season, at least in the Champions League, might be changing so that would be pretty much stonewall pen. So, it'll be interesting to see what other people have to say about that and what other referees have to say about that as well. But, yeah, been a really good game. I do kind of see City breaking through, but at the same time, Watford have defended so well so far.
I can see Watford scoring in this game.
Yeah, I think I can't see, unless they really tire out, they're going to keep on getting in behind, I think, with City, because City are playing such a high line, as they like to do. Watford do look really dangerous. Delafeu's been fantastic first 20. I think he's probably been man of the match so far, although can't really say that after 20 minutes, can you? But
the problem Watford have got is they need to take their chances. You know, Tottenham done it. And I say you talk about Tottenham, but they do play. They're playing the same way, Watford, the way that Tottenham played against them in a diamond.
Got to be clinical.
You have to be clinical. They were clinical. They scored them goals when they get them. And the problem that Watford are going to have is if you don't score, as the game wears on, you get more and more tired. And Man City are relentless. They'll keep playing the same way, and you'll drop deeper and deeper and deeper. And before you know it, you can't get out.
Yeah.
So if you go 1-2-0 up, you have a really good chance of staying in the game.
Chance for City.
Here we go.
Over the bar, deflected behind for a corner. Just quickly before we go to this corner, Jamie, does that happen to you in a game when you're in a team, not necessarily yourself missed a chance, but a teammate's missed a chance against a big team when you know you have to be clinical? Does that play on your mind for the rest of the game? Do you think, we need to take them?
It happened in the FA Cup final where we played Chelsea, Portsmouth. We got battered for the first 45 minutes, went in 0-0, and we got a penalty in, I think it was like the 65th minute, to go 1-0 up, and Boateng missed it. And it just changes the whole energy because you think, that's the chance.
That's the moment.
That's the moment. And, against the teams like Man City and that, you might only get 1 or 2 chances. And you have to take them because, in the end, you sit there thinking, if he just scores that goal, we can hang on.
It changes
everything.
Interesting, we're talking about VAR. VAR, of course, is in use. Referee is Kevin Friend. VAR official is Andre Mariner for today's game. So VAR is in use for this FA Cup final. Chance for City? No, it has been cleared. So Mariner would have to suggest...
Silver!
Chance for City! 1-0 Manchester City! First goal of the day. It is that man, David Silva.
That was a bit clunky.
Jamie Hart, you were talking about how Watford have to take their chances. They had chances, they haven't taken them. This is what happens. It's 1-0 Man City.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get punished, big moment. They actually scored. It was a scrappy goal, actually.
Yeah, wasn't it?
It was a bit direct. It wasn't really how you'd think Man City to score. They kind of just lumped it in the box. It's come in, bounced around, and I think someone's won a header. He'd give it away in the middle of the park. Is that Capoue or someone's give it?
Decore, I think,
Decore.
Lovely pop.
Sterling's tried to have a shot. It's bopped up in the air. David Silva's won a header. Sterling's actually won a header.
He's onside.
He's onside.
Yeah. It's a lovely finish, James.
Drops to David Silva, 6 yards out, volley, left foot, across the keeper, no chance. Great finish. He's used his body really clever there, but that's what I said. You don't take your chances
you said that.
against these teams. They will punish you.
You did say that a match of minutes ago, and they haven't taken their chances. It takes a slight deflection, but it's in the back of the net. And now, 26 minutes gone, Michael, Watford have got a lot to do now.
They do have a lot to do. They've got a lot to do, but I'm still backing them to score 3 goals. So,
love it, love the optimism. I don't think any of us had David Silva.
I had Bernardo.
So just to clarify what we were talking about before the goal went in, there is VAR available, but VAR, Andre Mariner would have to suggest to Kevin Friend, the referee, to look at that in that incident, which he hasn't done. So, as I say, VAR is in use for options for these moments. Got to go to social corner. A lot of very optimistic City fans before. What is the chat saying, Ash, in social corner?
Very happy.
As a Man United fan, can you read them in as much detail as you can, please, my friend?
No. Henson, I love you, David. Brian Hall, who cares what City do? They have no soul. So,
Christ.
Elijah Emmanuel, great goal, Silva. Yeah, well done, City. 1-0. If you're Watford, you're gutted because you actually started so well.
So well, yeah.
And for all of City's lovely, intricate play, they haven't broken them down. So to score a goal that's scrappy off Sterling and David Silva nearly winning headers, you're gutted.
Yes, you're right about that. It's a goal that, from a Watford perspective,
that was a hit.
See, it's going to be another goal.
But that's interesting because Watford have limited City to those kind of chances, whereas Watford have actually carved out really good chances for themselves. So I think Watford just need to not panic at this stage. I think they still need to carry on with the same game plan.
Who was it who gave it away in midfield, though, for Watford?
It was Decore.
Decore. I mean, that's criminal to give the ball away in midfield. That's what they want, Man City. They want to lure you in to think that you're safe, you've got time on the ball, and they nick it off you and they'll punish you straight away. And that's the problem.
And it's another corner for Man City. Vincent Kompany, Laporte, the big guys are up. Gundogan is stepping over it, whips it in. Punched away.
Oh, Jamie, I don't trust your mate Gomez. So dodgy.
He hasn't held one yet. Has he caught one?
What is he doing? Why is he flapping every corner? Just leave him.
He's so tall and his arms are so long. I swear, he's got the longest arms I've ever seen. He never catches anything.
I was listening to Peter Crouch's podcast and he said he doesn't kick the ball, he just throws it because his throw sometimes
his throw is
awful with his
incredible,
feet apparently as well.
Yeah, he's terrible with his feet. Terrible. I mean, he's got 2 left feet, but.
A lovely guy.
Lovely guy. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't catch anything. I don't understand it. And it's all right if you've got a really good punch and you punch it 30 yards, but he just flaps at it, and it's He's got his big curly toe out.
And he is setting a kick now. 30 minutes, approaching 30 minutes on the clock. Is Man City 1, Watford 0. If you're just joining us on the stream, Man City making one change from the side that clinched the Premier League title at Brighton. It was Gabriel Jesus replaces Sergio Aguero. So big talking point, Aguero on the bench. Watford, interestingly, 2 changes from their 4-1 home defeat to West Ham. Last time out, Gomez comes in for Ben Foster. Mariappa comes in centre-back for Kabasele, who's on the bench. And Watford started very brightly, but do find themselves 1-0 down. Let's go back to Social Corner, Ash. More happy Man City fans, I presume, on the verge of a historic domestic treble, although still a long way to go, of course.
Apologies, I had a frutella. It's getting stuck in my tooth. Patrick Silky, that's a really nice surname. If Watford win this, if Watford come back to win this, is it a bad season for City? I can't believe that. You're so lucky.
Wow.
You won the League Cup and the Premier League, and people are saying this might be a bad season.
The person who said that is not a City fan if they've asked.
You know what I will say, right?
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Pellegrini won the League Cup and the Premier League in the season and Pep hasn't surpassed that.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Okay. That's why you should
Right, I've got some inside information from a very good source.
To that camera there, please. Camera 1. Camera, go on.
It come from a really good source that spoke to the chairman or the owner, the Sheikh of Man City, and an interview that wasn't allowed to be aired that said that he's had a really good season, but he hasn't won the Champions League, has he?
Oh, no, not fast.
So that's the one that is the one he has to win, Guardiola. Has to win it.
Shout out to Brad in the stats, man.
As we say, we have no idea if that story's true or not, but it's a great story.
I'm telling you.
It's a great story. But
good source.
Brad, in his brilliant stats pack, said he's never gone past the quarter-final with City.
With City,
I had no idea.
Was it 7 semi-finals before that?
7 semi-finals in a row before that, and now with City, he hasn't got past the quarter-finals. He's awful.
Babies in Europe. Absolute babies in Europe, though, City.
But you say that, but...
Well, we shouldn't be. Realistically, we shouldn't be.
See, I don't think you can use that as an excuse, because the team is so good. You can't be considered babies. Look at, like, Porto when they won the Champions League. Look at Monaco got to that final. They were technically babies, but they had such a good team. They got there. You should have definitely been at least in a semi by now.
Semi-final, like, this season, I think we were unfortunate. Tottenham kind of, as we said, took their chances, and that one goal that could have been given, I'm glad it wasn't in hindsight, but obviously wasn't at the time. But I still think we went away on away goals. There's no real shame to lose to the finalists on away goals, a game that could have easily gone either way. Last season's Liverpool game, I've got quite a few gripes about the offside decisions that weren't given our way, offside decisions that were given Liverpool's way. Obviously swings games in different ways, and it was unfortunate. The season before that, Pep hasn't really started his kind of, well, what we see today, Man City.
No,
so there are reasons for us not getting to the latter stages of the Champions League. But I don't think it's not like we've been terrible in those competitions, and most people have put us in as favourites to win that competition, and we've played as favourites to win those competitions near enough every game. I mean, went out to Liverpool, scored 3 goals, I think, during those 2 games. Spurs this year, 4 goals, so it's not like we're underperforming. It's just we haven't quite got there yet.
Bit of instant with Dini there. Did you see that, Jamie?
No, I didn't
Michael?
see it.
What was that, sorry? Did you both miss that?
I think I missed it.
I missed that. OK, there we go. That was that.
Sorry, Smithy.
Interested with that? No, Troy Deeney was having a little bit of a word with the referee.
Really?
Unhappy. I think they're looking at they're not happy with the decision that didn't go to.
Oh, that's a brilliant
great challenge.
What?
The penalty earlier. I think Watford's still aggrieved about that. They need to let that go now, surely.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone.
It's gone, and Man City scored.
It's gone, and they'll probably be regretting it, thinking that was the chance, you know. And I think they know now that you can see that Man City are now starting to dominate the game. They're sitting more off. You can't play relentless football. I mean, Liverpool have done it this season. Like they've been, they will keep going, but you can't do this all the time. You will run out of steam, and it looks like Watford have kind of run out of steam now.
Yeah, it's a completely different story now than it was in the first 10.
Yeah,
it's
like
all
Man City
on the ball,
dominating the game, and now Watford will be looking at thinking, them 2 chances that we had could be really important.
Yeah, all Man City.
Got a good question
in
here.
the last 10 minutes. Throw in for them. Let's go back to Social Corner.
Got a good question from Sohabib. Sorry if I said that wrong. Any reason you can give for Sane not being part of Guardiola's plans? He's got 10 goals and 10 assists in the league this season, and he's not been first choice. I think it's unbelievable.
I think he is. He is part of his
It's part of his plans.
I think he's part of his plans, but he doesn't see him as a starter. I think just because of the way I mean, one, how Sterling's played this season. He's been incredible, the way, and that's the position that he likes to... The way that Guardiola plays, you probably see Sane as a different kind. He's like a left winger, and he sees Sterling as an inside forward. And the way that they like to play Man City, where they like to dominate, get the fullbacks up high, and then the wingers come in. So Sterling plays that role better than Sane, and that's why I think he's started more games. But I think he's still part of his plans and sees him as a massive player for them in terms of the goals he scored, but I think he moaned about his work rate or something.
Yeah, but for Sane, from Sane's perspective, young, very talented player, will he not be knocking on his door saying, I want to start? Will game time not be so important to him at this young age?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you're not playing and you're that level of player, you're going to be saying, I want to play. You're going to back yourself over any player in a squad. So, yeah, he will be getting frustrated that he's not involved. You know, it's a cup final, he's on the bench, he's not going to be happy about that. So, yeah, there comes a point where you're like, I want to be number one.
Also, he probably gets into most other teams in the world, right?
I think he
Like, as in, like, starts for most other teams, apart from maybe Barcelona.
Certainly in the Premier League, yeah.
But he starts
Does
for
he
most
start in
other
Liverpool's team?
Yeah, I would say he would.
Over Mane, yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he does.
Do you think
he's
you'd drop
better
the
than
man from the midfield 3 and make space for him? Do you think
No.
you'd go 2 in midfield with
I think
3?
he sits on the bench at Liverpool.
Chance for City, whipped in from Kyle Walker. Oh, it's cleared behind for another corner for Manchester City.
No, I think with Sane, though, I think there must be something behind the scenes we're not quite getting. He's a fantastic player. He fits Pep's system more than Mahrez does, and I prefer. And I think we do play better with Sterling, Aguero, Sane as a front three.
As a front three, yeah.
I think he's a phenomenal talent, and you're probably right in saying he'll near enough get into any team in the world. But I think there must be something behind the scenes that's stopping him from being. You know, there's always these kind of rumours of behaviour issues. The reason he didn't get into the Germany squad, there could be just his attitude. Potentially, this isn't facts, but there's got to be an underlying reason that we don't know about that's behind the scenes to stop him, because he's a phenomenal player. And yeah, it's a bit silly him not actually.
And
being
that was a
in these
big
squads.
shot left out of the Germany squad as well, wasn't it? At the time, I remember everyone.
I think you'll be surprised at how much Guardiola loves Sane, and I think you know he's a young lad, and Guardiola knows how to deal with players and get the best out of players, and they will be seeing this as. You know, Guardiola's going to be at Man City for a long, long time, and he'll be probably looking at Sane as a player who potentially will be their main player in the future. So he's going to blood him how he wants him to play and how he wants him to act as a professional. And you know, this will be like a learning curve, and you know, a bit like a school teacher a little bit to say, this is how I want you to do things, and if you want to be part of it with me, I'm going to show you how it is, and if you don't do it, then I'll leave you out.
I hope it is that case.
Oh, and don't forget, not just Sane, but Aguero's on the bench as well.
No, I think that's a one-off. I think Javi Jesus is playing the cup competitions, and it's just courteous, like Gomez being in this, you know, just to give him the run out.
But what I mean is, it shows the strength and depth that City have. That every player on that bench, you know, De Bruyne, there's a lot of players, Sane, Otamendi, Stones, there's a lot of players that would have a case for starting because the squad is so strong for Man City.
Someone like John Stones, he had a really good first half of the season, and suddenly his company in Laporte, they're the first two in all the big games.
All of them, Jamie, they look at the subs there, they all have a case pretty much, wouldn't they? Most of those players.
I would probably say that every one of them subs starts in Tottenham's team.
Wow, go on, read them out for us.
So you've got Danilo, I think would play over Trippier. Stones would definitely start for me. Aguero, obviously. De Bruyne, obviously. Sane, I think, starts. And Otamendi.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal bench.
I mean, that bench is... all of them will start in probably, apart from Liverpool, would start in every other team in the Premier League.
I wish United had one of those players.
I love how we zoomed in on Ash then, just as he got a devastation about. Can we zoom in on Can we go even further in on Ash's devastation? Let's talk about Man United season. Ash, any words you want to say?
Fantastic. Ollie's at the wheel. Hey, still at the wheel.
Oh, wow.
Please.
He's going to be the favourite to get sacked at the start of the season.
Do you know what? I don't think...
Well, chance for City!
Brilliant ball.
Oh, has he nicked it?
No, that's not Sterling's.
Jesus.
It counts, it's in the back of the net. It is Manchester City 2, Watford 0. Jamie O'Hara, big goal. That is a lot for Watford to do now.
They're looking at Gomez. I think it's coming as a cross, was it? It looked like a cross that's come in.
This is how easy it is
I was
for
giving
you.
it to Ash about Man United, and I think I might have missed it. But Yeah, it looks like Jesus has scored it in off the post, but then it looked like Sterling might have tried to nick it right on the line, but 2-0, it's a huge...
Here's a replay now, so we were talking about Ashton Man United, but we've got a replay here.
Bernardo Silva picks it up on the edge of the box.
It's a brilliant ball.
Yeah, he bends one, he comes inside, bends it to...
What's your mate Gomez doing?
Oh, that's Sterling.
Whose goal is that? Who takes that?
If Sterling's nicked that, that's
Gomez has
so
come out, has missed the ball.
He's missed
I don't know where he's going.
no.
That's terrible
Jesus
from him.
has just planted it back.
Sterling.
He's nicked it on the line.
Wow.
Absolute liberty. I mean, he's
In the cup final.
Jamie O'Hara, if you're Gabriel Jesus, you're talking about him in over Aguero. The ball is almost in the back of the net. How do you feel
Wow.
with Raheem Sterling here?
I am raging. That is an FA Cup final goal. You go down in history, and Sterling, it's on the line, it's rolling in, and Sterling's just volleyed it in.
And we're looking at photos there, Jesus and Sterling.
Yeah, he's laughing.
Clapping
Jesus,
hands,
but-
smiling.
Afterwards, I'll be saying that is way out of order, mate. You're bang out of order.
He's nicked his goal bonus as well, hasn't he?
Goal bonus as well, yeah. 39 minutes on the clock. Manchester City 2, Watford 0 in the FA Cup final, of course. Historic treble, domestic treble, never been done before in Premier League history. And Man City on the attack again. It's another corner. Wow. James Wayne, talk to us.
Yeah, Mara's showing why he should be in the squad more often, to be fair. Pulling defenders apart.
He does that so well.
He's an old boy, Holebas. I've given him a lot of credit for being an older boy in the Premier League. He's done his job very well for the last few years, but he's being pulled apart by Mahrez there. Really good shot off from the right-hand side. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think the confidence in this City team, attacking-wise, is just up and up.
Man City 200-1 on to win now. Watford 16-1 to win. That is with Sky Bet. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus full terms and conditions apply. So, I mean, everyone seems to think this is done and dusted. But the weeks that we've seen, Jamie, for the people watching, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. They need to get in 2-0 down at half-time. They've got 5 minutes now to half-time. Man City are dominating. They're confident. Can get in at half-time, Watford, regroup, have a bit of confidence, go out and have a real good go in the second half. You know, Tottenham done it against Ajax.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen it happen. You know, just watching the replay, though, Gomez, as I said, he's always likely to do something stupid. And, you know, you've got to command your 6-yard area at least. And he's nowhere near it. He's just completely left the ball. And Jesus just taps it across.
Chance for Watford. It's fizzled into nothing. Let's go back to Social Corner and see what you guys have been talking about on the stream since that second goal. Ash, just remind the viewers how they can get in touch with us. They've just joined us.
Yes, get in touch at Football Daily, at SoccerAim on Twitter. Use the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Get on YouTube, get in the comments box. We're reading them all and we're dishing them out to everyone. So the general feeling is that City are now going to really win this, and a lot of the chats about Sterling nicking the goal as well.
Is it? Go on.
Bang out of order.
Really?
Raheem Sterling, what are you doing? How can you do that, Sterling? How can you nick his goal?
Wow.
It means more to him. He's a Wembley boy.
That's out of order.
The only defence I would have is that it is rolling across the line. He doesn't know what's behind him. He's just made the run in the box. So, I mean, look, do you leave it?
What I'm saying is, if you
really
leave
difficult
it,
to
Would you leave it?
No, I wouldn't. But just because you don't know what's behind you. If someone comes in and sticks a toe out,
you'll be punished more for leaving it if someone clears it.
If someone clears it off the
line.
line and you don't put it in, then you know everyone's going to be saying, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So you do. I think he's just instinct-wise. You just think, "I'm just going to smash it in." But you know, look, they're a team. They're team spirit. They'll look at it afterwards, and you know, if they lift the trophy, I don't think they're really going to care.
No.
That's a good. You just touched on it there. So Roger THFC has asked, what's more important, money or team spirit? Klopp and Pochettino have created teams that enjoy playing for each other, and it seems like buying players does not always mean success. It's a good question, and I actually think City's spirit is incredible. Like they look like friends, they look like teammates. You see them in the changing room after. I don't know if you watched the documentary on them. They look like a proper unit and a proper team. Same with Liverpool, same with Spurs. And then you look at someone, unfortunately, like United. We're buying in players from everywhere. We're getting players that are not, you know, we've got Moyes' players, Van Gaal's players, Fergie's players, and now Solskjaer's players. And it doesn't seem to be that much of a team spirit. You can hear stories about no cohesion in the camp and stuff like that. And
I think that's down to the manager, though. The manager creates that environment. If you look at the teams who've got the best spirit and obviously the best teams, the Liverpool and Man City. You know, Tottenham have got that as well too. With Pochettino, and they've not spent any money. It's down to the manager in terms of you know the divide or the environment you create in a football club, but not just the players, but everyone involved. You know, the secretaries, the security, the fans, everyone involved in the football club. If that manager can get everyone on board and being together as a whole unit, then that's when you can create really magical things in a football club, and that's what Klopp has done. Pochettino's done it. And Pep has obviously done it wherever he's been. And, you know, that's not an easy thing to do, especially with world-class players.
Where did you have that in your career? Where did you have like the best team spirit?
We had a great team spirit at Tottenham when I was there. We won the Carling Cup, the Carabao Cup it's called now. But, yeah, when we had people like Robbie Keane, Woodgate...
last trophy that Spurs won, wasn't it?
The last trophy that Spurs won. I'm clinging on to that. Clinging on to it.
And you do that, rightly so.
Berbatov and Woodgate, they're talking about the cup final,
Yeah, Berbatov, Woodgate, Keane. But that, you know, the manager was Ramos, who got us all kind of together. We was playing to, Ramos was kind of like he let the players lead it. So you know, he had like the big characters like Keano and Genus, Woodgate, you know, bring everyone together and demanded excellence and demanded team spirit, that we all stuck together. We'd always all do nights out and team bonding days. You know, Robbie would always sort out things like that. And I think that's key to creating an environment where you enjoy coming into work every day.
That's what it's like in Football Daily.
Chance for Watford before half-time. We are approaching the half-time mark now. Big chance Watford need to take one of these, you would think.
Should be a corner.
If they have any chance in the second half. But it is a corner for Watford, so we'll stick with this. Is this last big chance, McCubbin, for Watford this half? You'd think this is probably the last chance of the half, wouldn't you?
Deanie header all over this.
1 minute of injury time. 1 minute of injury time has been announced.
This is the best time to score.
It is.
If you can score now, it's like score. You go in half-time, it's a completely different team talk.
This is the way they will score, though. If they've got one massive weakness in the City squad, it's corners and set pieces.
Here we go.
Is it Holebas?
We'll stick with this now.
Swing it in.
Holebas is going to whip this corner in. 1 minute of injury time. Surely this is the last chance of the half for Watford. Whipped in. It's a good ball.
Edison.
It's a good ball. Edison does well to get his hands to that. It's not cleared.
Gone.
Delafeu. Oh, well done. Great.
Just need to get rid of it here.
Just whack it.
Just whack it. I love that. All this money's spent. Just lump it. Jamie, you said this is the chance to score. This changes the team talk, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
still alive for them here.
It's still alive. They've still got the ball. They've gone out to the right now. If they can get a cross in, they need to just fill the box.
Oh, well done, Walker. Brilliant.
So now they're on. Now they're
complete down the other end. Counter attack for Man City.
Oh, the whistle.
No, quick.
Oh, good tackle.
Very good tackle.
See, that's the moment there from a set piece. You're 2-0 down. If you can score there, it's a completely different chat at half-time, you know.
And there is the half-time whistle. The half-time stage is Manchester City 2, Watford 0, courtesy of those goals from David Silva and Raheem Sterling. Watford started very brightly. They had appeals for a penalty. No was the call from the referee. Minutes later, Man City scored. Let's talk about what will be said in the dressing rooms. Pep Guardiola, I imagine it will be more of the same. For Watford, in that Watford dressing room, what will be said? What can they do to turn this around against such a strong Man City team?
Well, look, their season's over after this. You know, they've got nothing else to lose. They just have to believe in themselves, believe in each other, stick together, whatever happens. If they go and lose a game 4-5, you know, they've had a great season. So now it'll just be, look, lads, just die on the pitch, you know, give everything. Then something might happen. We score one early goal, one chance, you know, just try and be a bit more clinical. I think Watford actually played all right until they conceded. They were on, I think they were the better side. They had some really good chances. So, you know, they're still in this game. 2-0's not done. One goal changes everything. And yeah, I mean, they've just got to stick together as a group.
Yeah. Right, before we go into the Q&A with Jamie O'Hara, it is the half-time stage. Don't forget, get your questions in. We'll do a quick football social quiz time, because I know everyone loves these football social quiz time. Get involved in the comments section. Very simply, because it is FA Cup final day, can you name the first player from each of the following countries to lift the FA Cup?
Ooh,
so Belgium, first player from Belgium to lift the FA Cup.
Company
for
Vincent Kompany, it was correct.
2011?
So you get the game, yes. 2011 it was. Stoke. Uruguay, first player from Uruguay to lift the FA Cup. Who are we saying?
Forlan?
Good shout.
It's not Diego Forlan. It was in 2000.
Gus Poyet.
Gus Poyet, yes, Jamie O'Hara. Flying starts the football social. Let get people to get involved in the comments as well. Spain.
Juan Mata?
Wasn't one match. It was a lot earlier than that.
Yeah,
Really?
it's got
Got to be, yeah.
1991, in fact.
Really?
Spanish.
Spanish player. in
Spanish
91?
player,
Before the Premier League, it
1991.
Was that when
exist.
Spurs won it?
Spurs won it in 91, yes.
No idea.
Spanish Spurs players.
Oh,
He scored a very famous goal from the halfway line.
Naeem.
Naeem, yes, it is
Naeem.
Naeem. Here we go. Right, this is a fantastic quiz. Big thanks to Brad West.
Naeem from the halfway
tirelessly
line.
behind the
Brad.
scenes and delivered
Before
it.
my time, mate.
Big up, Brad.
Born in 93.
Nigeria, the first Nigerian player to lift the FA Cup.
Kanu.
Who was it?
Kanu.
No, it wasn't. Before that, it was in 1995.
Daniel Amakachi.
It was Daniel Amakachi.
Wow, what a shout.
Okay, this is a very, very easy one. You're going to shout it as loud as you can beforehand. Who was the first Portuguese player to lift the FA Cup?
Ronaldo.
Yes, it was. Cristiano Ronaldo,
yeah.
2004 from Man United. Polish player in 2006 became the first Polish player to lift the FA Cup.
Podolski.
Was it?
Wasn't.
Was it?
I know he's German, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
it's Liverpool, yeah.
It was Liverpool.
I know it.
Go on, he knows it.
Dudek.
Yes, he did. Two more to go.
It wasn't even started though, was it? I think
2006.
Roma must have
Who
played
was?
that.
This is a good one. Who was the first Brazilian to lift the FA Cup?
Ooh.
Give us a year.
Yeah, years.
2002 was the year.
That's Arsenal, isn't it?
Correct, it was Arsenal.
Yeah.
Gilberto? was it?
No.
Edu.
Edu, yes, it was. And finally, first player from Oman to lift the FA Cup.
Oh, man.
Who was it?
I have no idea.
That's so rogue.
It was like a
2013, and it was a very famous...
Amir Zaki. No.
El Habsi it was for Wigan. They beat Man
actually know
City
from
1-0. So that was round of applause there for
shout.
a very good
Great question.
FA Cup quiz time. I'm told that we'll definitely have quiz time in the second half of the show for the second half as well. So stay with us for that. Time now though for a little Q&A with Jamie Hart. I understand that we have been inundated with questions
We've
for
got
Jamie
loads
today.
of questions for you,
God,
Jamie.
here we go.
Can I start with one? Can I start with a little who am I?
Oh.
So,
who am I?
Yeah, so I'm going to list the players and you've got to tell me which list of players they've played with.
Right.
Tell me the player it is.
Go
So
on.
I have played with Jamie O'Hara,
Yeah.
Messi and Ronaldinho.
Oh.
I know who that is.
Go on.
Kevin Prince Boateng.
Yes, correct.
Brilliant.
That's
Straight
mental,
away.
isn't it?
Good, I like that.
When you played with Kevin Prince Boateng, did you think he would one day go on to play with Messi?
No. No, not at all. I mean, fair play to him. He's done unbelievable.
But even in that AC Milan team, he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really
Scored an unbelievable
Scored
Champions
against
League goal,
Barcelona.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
Great career.
Let's
Very
get some of these questions in because we've got loads coming in, and thanks, keep them coming. Let's get some of these questions
Right,
that you
so-
guys have been asking.
Yeah, this one from Aidan. So you are currently the assistant manager and player manager at Billericay Town.
Yeah.
You don't see that happen a lot in football. How does that dynamic work?
Oh, good question, that.
Yeah, really good question. It's quite difficult because you're trying to put down your stamp on what you want to do. I'm working with the manager on the team and who we want to pick and who we want to play and the systems we want to play. And obviously then I've got to concentrate on my own game as a player because I want to do well for myself when I'm on the pitch. And I actually found it quite difficult because when you play as a player, you turn up on a Saturday, you walk out on the pitch and you concentrate on yourself. First and foremost is look after number one. You go out there, do your job, play well. When you're assistant manager, you've got to do everything. You're there at like 4 hours before the game. You're picking the team. You're setting up. You've got to try and get everyone on board. You've got to do the team talks. You've got to do all the the team shape and everything. So you're taking on so much more. So then to concentrate on yourself when you walk on the pitch, I found really difficult. So yeah, I'm gonna continue doing it because I've loved it and it's a great learning curve for me. And I've learned so much going into coaching. It's something I want to do and obviously go into the management side. So I'm still trying to cling on to playing, but yeah.
As well as that, can I just ask, as well as that side of it, is it hard to be... You're managing them. Does the dynamic in terms of the relationship you have with players change overnight?
It does change, yeah, it does change. And I actually took myself out of the group chat. I was in the players' group chat.
Did you?
Yeah, but just because I was then having to make decisions on players that weren't going to be involved and who are my mates. And so I kind of like, I kind of see myself as the go-between at the moment. Like I'm the assistant manager, but I don't have the final say. I'll help and I'll do the coaching, I'll give my opinion, but the manager has the final say. But yeah, I did find it's quite difficult to then be one of the pals and go out at Christmas parties and stuff like that. I've had to step away from that and think like, I'm 32 now, I want to go into management, I want people to respect me as a coach and a manager, so step away from the player side of it And I can still be one of the lads and have a joke and a laugh. Like Pep Guardiola puts his arm around and have a joke and a laugh. And but you have to get the respect of you're not going out with the boys and partying and having a laugh with them. You've now got to be the guy that helps make decisions.
And you must have a contact book in your phone that you can bring in some. You've got to have some ballers that you're looking to bring in.
Oh, yeah, I always say,
Modric, is he available?
listen, I say, listen, boys, pipe down or I'll get Keno on the phone, you think you're decent, some of these boys, and let me tell you, mate, you're nowhere near it. But, yeah, I mean, they're all good lads, Billericay. There's been a lot of hype about Billericay. He got built up as a big club and a lot of money and all that type of, got a bit of bad publicity, but... it's a really good club. They do a lot for the community. The facilities there are great, and it's a real good non-league team. And we're going to do things different next season because obviously, me and Harry, the manager, we've took on more as a club in terms of how we want to do it. And we're looking at it as making it a sustainable football club with young players with an academy that can progress through, and players that can go on and do better things instead of just getting players from League One, League Two, paying them loads of money, and they're not really there for the right reasons.
Interesting. Great first question, wasn't it?
Question. Very good
answer as well. What else we got, Ash?
So leading on to that, it seems like from your answer, it's fairly obvious you do want to go on and be a manager as well, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's the next step.
I'd love to go into management. I really enjoy coaching. I love coaching at any ages. I love doing men. Because I think I can get more out of some people that I deal with. So I love putting on sessions. I love coaching. Something I'm really passionate about. To have a job in football, and as a player, was the most incredible job anyone could ever ask for. But to stay in it and be having the opportunity to coach and still be part of it and part of a dressing room and part of the whole thing on a match day, there's no better job in the world, honestly.
Are there any other young managers who you've seen over the last few years who've kind of inspired you in terms of the route that you're taking? I chat to Steven Gerrard quite a bit. Oh, yeah?
Because he's obviously took that step. He's gone into a massive job at Rangers. I just chat to him a couple of times, get some points, get some feeders from him. And, I look at these young managers now. Lampard has done a great job at Derby. Yeah. And I look at them and think, how are they doing it? How can I take what they're doing into my own stuff? There's so many good managers out there now in the league. Even in the lower leagues, there's some really good young managers that are trying to play football and coach. And non-league before probably they would look at it and think, oh, it's a bit Mickey Mouse. But actually, it's not. There's actually some real good players in it, some real good coaches, and the football now and the standard has got a lot better than I ever thought it would be.
When you speak to Steven Gerrard, what kind of, do you speak to him about Rangers, if he's enjoying it, what kind of approach he has, or is it asking him advice? How do the conversations go?
Yeah, I just asked him a bit of advice on going into management and going into coaching and putting on sessions. I actually asked him for a job as well.
Is that an exclusive there on the Football Social? There you go.
What did he say? He was like, maybe not.
You see the two blue ticks and he's not replying. I know you've read it. It says 8:32 red.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was at Rangers, and I was like, do you need a middle-aged player that's been in the Prem and can still maybe knock about a bit? And he was like, yeah, maybe not. He's great, really nice bloke, top bloke, and he's got a lot of time for everyone. And
brilliant.
I said, he's the best player ever played against. He was incredible. What a player!
Wow, that's the next question.
Oh, was that next question?
That's the next question.
Go on.
Is go on. So the players you've played against, who's the best? Because in your cup final, you played against Lampard and Ballack in centre mid. You come up against Scholes, Ronaldo, Drogba, Gerrard.
I've been really lucky. I've played against some, incredible players. I played at Old Trafford. I played left back against Ronaldo. I had a really good game. He only scored 2 goals. But I had a really good game, and everyone, you'd say, Ronaldo. But for me, Paul Scholes was incredible, just because of what he did at Man United and the way he dominated games. But Gerrard, playing against him was the first time I walked out on a football pitch, and I never forget it. First couple of minutes, I thought, right, I'm playing against Gerrard. I've got to snap him. I'm going to smash him. Go up, try and win a header. I think I won the first header, and then after that, he just looked at me and went, all right. Next time he got it, tried to steam in. He's nutmegged me. Played a 1-2, zing 170 yards, and then for the next 45 minutes, I did not get near him. And I walked off the pitch. I got subbed at half time, and I walked off the pitch and was like, he was on a different level.
Really?
On another level. He was the ultimate for me. I couldn't get near him. Could not get near him. And so many players say the same thing, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about Lampard. Lampard was different. He was an attacking midfielder, he'd score, he'd get on the end of things, he was brilliant in the box. Paul Scholes was the ball player, would make things happen, can spray a ball 70 yards. Gerrard had everything.
Yeah.
He would bring a whole team up to a whole new level by himself.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think anyone else has done that for a team and as a club.
Wow, amazing story.
Great answer. So
These questions coming. It's lovely this Q&A. Actually. We've got more.
One from Nicky S. So, who's the best player you've played with? And I've listed a few, and there's one I want to ask about as well in particular.
Okay.
So, Robbie Keane, Berbatov, Luka Modric, Kanu, and the one I want to know about is Adel Taarabt.
Adel Taarabt?
Yeah, because.
Yeah, I mean, like, talent-wise...
He had that season at Tottenham where he technically was brilliant, wasn't he? Then he went to QPR and he said, I think he came out with some quotes saying, he's good enough for Madrid, and there was...
Yeah, he was never good enough for Madrid.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, fantastic talent, would nutmeg you 5 times in a training session, but he was really frustrating to play with. I mean, I played with him when we was in, the reserve team for Tottenham, and... so obviously he was still young and he was still learning. He went on to have, done really well for QPR. He was brilliant for them. He had a fantastic season. But for me, as a player, he weren't a team player. Right. He was just a player that he was there for himself, would play for himself. So he was fantastic ability, but not a player that I enjoyed playing with.
Do you think that's what limited his progression then, the fact that he wasn't a team player? Because clearly, technically, he had everything.
Yeah, technically he could unlock defences, he could do anything. He lacked a bit of pace, which probably stopped him from playing at the highest level in terms of the Premier League, because you need to be really, you need to be quick and athletic, and he wasn't really that. That's why he was so good in the Championship, because you could get away with not being as fit, but if you had the ability of a Premier League player, then you could still produce magic, and he did that in the Championship, but didn't really do it in the Premier League. So, but yeah, I mean, in terms of best players I played with, would probably be Modric. I mean, a special player, won the Ballon d'Or. Just in training, when he first come in at Tottenham, he was a bit in and out. He wasn't the man that he is now, but then he become that and become an incredible player. But just in training, you was like, wow, I couldn't get the ball for him. He was really good. He was low centre of gravity. And I think he actually progressed every season and has done that every season he's gone and played. He's got better.
Yeah, unbelievable player.
Got a couple more? Have we got time still?
Yes, you have got time. Yeah, we're
Lovely.
still at the half-time stage. Of course, we'll let you know when the game kicks off. Get your questions in as well, because if there's quiet points of the game, we'll keep them coming.
Yeah, of
for
course.
Jamie in the second half. At SoccerM, at Football Daily, use the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Ash, keep them coming, mate.
Yeah, so one from Laffy. Is there any transfers that didn't materialise in your career that we don't know about?
Yeah, a couple, actually. I had a really good chance to sign for Celtic.
What did
Oh,
you?
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I nearly signed for Celtic. I was a young lad. I was at Tottenham. And they wanted to take me. I think Neil Lennon was the manager. And at the time, I was really happy at home in London. Yeah. I'd just bought a new house. And I was settled at Tottenham. I was really enjoying it. Tottenham was my boyhood club. I'd got in the squad. I was playing well. So it didn't kind of happen. Fantastic club. Would have loved to play for them. I always said down the line, I would have loved to happen. West Ham was one when they got relegated. I think they were trying to sign back Defoe or someone they was trying to sign from West Ham, and I was going to go the other way. But again, I was playing for Tottenham at the time. I was in the team, I was in the squad, and I didn't want to leave. So, it didn't really happen. So, Man United, there was 25 mil. Yeah, turned it down.
Off that game, I left back. Your face.
I was like, wow. Love that. Right, the match has kicked off. Second half is underway. Absolutely love that, Jay. Brilliant question time with Jamie O'Hara. And I think let's get some more.
I've got another one.
Go on.
I've got another one.
Do another one, and we'll update you if anything happens in the game.
From Giuseppe M. So you touched on some transfers there, but did you actually have a chance to ever play abroad? And would you recommend that to youngsters?
I had the chance to go and play for Malaga in Spain. I was going to go on loan there, but I didn't fancy it. I was quite a homeboy. I love London. Going up to Birmingham was, like being abroad, to be honest. Couldn't wait to get back. I wouldn't recommend it. I know I see a lot of players doing it, like Jadon Sancho and that. They've gone abroad and the opportunities are there. Great if they can. They're playing for these big clubs, but I just think the opportunity to play in the Premier League or go on loan as a young player. If you're not quite good enough to get in like Man City's team, say, or go on loan for a Championship team, and I see like Harry Wilton's done it for Derby. He's had a brilliant season. Will progress probably and will be involved, with Liverpool in that. So I just think there's more chances for young players in the Championship now. And the Championship's a brilliant league now. It's one of the best leagues around, and I don't like to see our English players go abroad, and you kind of can be a little bit out of mind,
Do you think, like with national setup, with the national team, or coming back to the Premier League? Because obviously Sancho's done it to great success, but is he at an elite level?
Yeah, I think he's a one-off. He's a one-off, and it's not something that happened very often to see that Jadon Sancho gone and done that. And I think he'll end up back in the Premier League.
Chance for City. Good save from Jamie O'Hara's best mate, Aurelio Gomez.
Yeah, good chance that for them. They've come out, Man City are dominating again.
Yeah, dominating again from City.
They're going to be playing with confidence now. That's the issue.
This from Sterling here is brilliant, isn't it? That little turn.
Sterling picks it up on the edge of the box, runs 70 yards with it. Watford can't really get near him. So Jesus skins the defender. Gomez makes a good save with corner for Man City. But
another corner as well. Loads of corners.
We had a good bet on.
Could have been
10 plus corners.
With the corners, wasn't it? Jesus straight at Gomez. Gomez hits his knee, goes behind for a corner. So we'll stay with this corner. For Man City. Is it Gundogan on it? It's the far side. Yes, it is. Ilkay Gundogan with the corner.
Oh, it's gone
a bit odd.
Gone out to Zinchenko.
Goes short to Zinchenko.
He's offside.
The ball's not back in the net, but it's
offside.
The flag is up.
Yeah. Right.
Gabriel Jesus, of course. Gabriel Jesus scored this. Well, thought he scored the second goal. Raheem Sterling took it away from the line. Correct decision for you, Jamie? It was offside.
Yeah, I mean, he's 4 or 5 yards offside. Gundogan plays it back. They've obviously worked at this on the training ground. Zinchenko picks up, whips it to the back post. Jesus has just stayed in the same position where he was for the corner.
Yeah.
If he steps out with the line and stays on side, he scores. It's obviously just switched off a little bit when it's gone back to Zinchenko for the switch, but that's something they've worked on, seeing that they can get at Watford like that.
So I say nearly scored. He's pretty much scored twice. He scored one that Raheem Sterling's taken off the line. Scored another one that's been disallowed. It's just destined not to go.
Well, Watford have got a good
Watford chance in the red. Cleared.
They need the next goal, don't they?
No changes at the half-time stage. Interesting. Bring you a few stats from the half-time side. David Silva with that goal ended a run of 27 games for Man City without scoring in all competitions, attempting 34 shots and playing 2,066 minutes since he last found the net against Southampton on December the 30th. So, first goal for a long time for David Silva. A chance for Watford. And it has been cleared.
Big chance for Watford. They really need. They know. They can see now with Watford. They're thinking we've got to throw ourselves at this now and have a go, and they're going to put everything into the next 20 minutes. And if they can get back into the game, then it's all game on.
Lively start. Interestingly, Man City to win 3-1 within 90 minutes was 8-1. It is now 9-1. So 9-1 for Man City to win 3-1 in 90 minutes with Sky Bet. You must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. The second half has started just as the first half did, end to end. And of course, the first FA Cup final. This is between two managers of the same nationality since 2008, when Dave Jones and Harry Redknapp met. Only the second time it's happened when the managers aren't British, with the other being in 2001, between the Frenchmen Arsene Wenger and Gerard Houllier. Either Pep Guardiola or Javi Garcia will become the third Spanish manager to win the FA Cup after who? Two other Spanish managers have won the FA Cup. Who are they?
Benitez?
Rafael Benitez in 2006 with Liverpool, and who else?
It's got to be
Wigan.
Not Di Matteo.
I've just heard it in my ear, and it's such a good shout.
Roberto Martinez, 2013 with Wigan. There you go. There we go. So there are
Wigan as well.
You need to sign for Wigan?
Yeah,
around that time
with Martinez. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened? Go on.
I don't know what happened. That's probably why I got rid of my agent in the end. I never knew what was going on.
Chance for City again, edge of the box. Oh, it's cleared. Trying to give some hope to Watford fans. 2-0 down in an FA Cup has been done before, so Watford fans watching the stream just clinging on to that bit of hope. The last time a side came from 2-0 down in an FA Cup final was Arsenal in 2014. They were 2-0 down to Hull after 8 minutes, and they made it 2-2 before Aaron Ramsey scored an extra time winner for the Gunners. So it has been done before. That was against Hull, though. This is against Man City. No disrespect to Hull. This is a big, big task for Man City. But Watford, Jamie, It's started again quite open this game, hasn't it?
Really open, and you know, Watford, they've still got to believe in themselves that they can get back in this game, and it's good to watch because it's two completely different styles. They're playing really direct, Watford. Once they get it up to Deeney, he's had a lot of joy actually. They've played off him, and they're making the midfielders are running beyond. So I think they're still in this game, and if they can just get through Company at the back, who's been colossal so far, then the next goal is huge, and they've just got to believe in the next 20 minutes, just throw everything at it. And, anything can happen. It's an FA Cup final.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch Company. Obviously, Manchester City lifting the Premier League only last week. And even to run this is from Watford.
One-on-one.
Chance for Watford. Watford have to take one of these chances. Cleared again, David Silva on the ball. Interestingly, hearing Vincent Kompany the day that Man City lifted the Premier League title and retained it for the first time in Man City's history, the first time they've retained a Premier League title, of course. Vincent Kompany straight away, on the day, Jamie, on Sunday, the day that he had his hands on the trophy, in his post-match chat, says it all counts for nothing if we don't beat Watford. Immediately, he was thinking about the FA Cup final. It just goes to show how relentless and how driven these Man City players are for silverware.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's instilled in them, Guardiola, and he's just instilled that winning mentality, and nothing else is good enough than win. And, you know, once you start breeding that into your squad, it does become a lot easier just to win all the time, even when you're not playing well. Most of the time, the Man City, they win and they play well, but they have ground out some results, and you can't get away from the fact that they've been brilliant at the back as well this season.
Today, and the ball's whipped in for Watford. Oh, you thought this is where Watford have most enjoy.
I'm so excited.
You do feel like Watford have a chance. A set piece whipping in.
Love a good cross.
To Troy Deeney. Apologies for those at home that were offended or didn't know what that noise was that Ash made. What was going on there?
It's just a lovely set piece
You
delivery.
just really want Watford to score, don't you?
Do you know what, Jamie, as a fellow left-footed player, I know you're a fan of a good set piece delivery too. That was nice.
It's a big chance for them to get back in the game, and this is a huge. They've
throw-in.
got a long throw now. They've thrown it in. Company's made 4 or 5 great headers, and he goes unnoticed, and that's why he starts, and he's the captain, because he does things that you don't see, you don't really appreciate, but he just makes such important decisions. He's always there at the right time. But Watford having a good spell.
Watford having a great spell. Interestingly, Gabriel Jesus to score the third goal was 7-2, now 9-2.
What happened there? Handball.
They're claiming handball again. The referee waves it away. So Jesus, who has had the ball in the back of the net, but it was disallowed because of the offside, was 7-2, now 9-2. That is a price boost with Sky Bet. You must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. Michael, let's get your thoughts on this as well. Watford starting very well in the second half.
Great. Fantastic. Deulofeu's just on his day, he's just absolutely unplayable, isn't he? He's so good on the dribble. I feel like if Watford are going to score, he's going to have something to do with it, definitely. Playing really, arguably playing better than they did at the start of that first half. But I just think City are just playing defensively, have just grown into this game a lot more. I think they were caught out a couple of times in that first half, but just doesn't look like they're switching off now. Like they look very, very well organised, and I think that's something like you said.
James, I was literally about to ask you, given how the game's panning out, do you expect any changes? And the first change looks like it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it apparently is Mahrez, with the cameras on him at the moment, which it makes sense. I mean, Bernardo Silva has been fantastic on the right. Kevin De Bruyne is a phenomenal player. Would always want him in the team. Ideally starting. I know he's injured, but it's just great to see him back.
And you're right, it is Kevin De Bruyne for Riyad Mahrez.
He don't look happy, Mahrez, does he?
No, he wouldn't be happy, and he rightly so. I'd be anyone.
It's an early sub, though, isn't it? 55 minutes on the clock.
He's played well.
Yeah.
I think we can see the fact that they're putting on a lot of pressure to us. We're actually having to defend quite a bit. We need a player who's got the quality of ball to punt to a speedy winger. I don't quite think Gundogan's got that to the same level as De Bruyne. That would be my reasoning for this.
And also, it's worth pointing out, this is probably a sub that isn't reflective of Mahrez's performance. This is more a tactical change,
100%. I think Mahrez has been great. He's been a defender's nightmare today. I don't think he would look at his performance and dislike it.
My look on that would be that Bernardo Silva now has gone out to the right. Defensively, Bernardo Silva's a lot better than Mahrez, and he covers so much ground. And as you can see, Watford were just starting to get on top on that side of the pitch. So Pep's probably looked at it and thought, Mahrez defensively, the game's won, they're winning 2-0, we'll be happy with that 2-0, you lift the trophy. So I think he's took Mahrez off just for a defensive look to give Walker a little bit more help down that side of the pitch, because Bernardo Silva covers so much more ground.
Right, of course. Let's go to social corner. Haven't been to social corner in the second half.
Yep.
How are people reacting? Still 2-0 Man City, but good start to this second half for Watford, Ash.
Very good start, yeah. The comments are positive, hoping Watford can nick the next goal. Got a question for you, Jamie, from Rapid Runner. If you could play for one manager, would you pick Guardiola or Klopp?
That's a really tough decision, and a lot of people ask that, and a lot of people say Klopp. But I would say De Bruyne.
Straight away.
Just because...
De Bruyne?
Sorry.
I'm saying it because De Bruyne. He played for Kevin De Bruyne.
I'm saying that because De Bruyne just had the ball.
He's just seen something about De Bruyne that he wants to play under.
Yeah, De Bruyne just put in a great cross, that's what I was. But,
cross.
Yeah, Guardiola, because...
Pep.
Yeah, he wins. And the trophies, if you're at his team and you're in his squad, there's a very good chance. I love Klopp, amazing. But he hasn't won too many trophies. Guardiola's won everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, good answer. I don't think many people can argue that. Corner for Man City.
It's big.
I just whipped it. Come on. Chance. Yeah, Pep Guardiola, 4 national cups as head coach. Interestingly, 2 Copa del Reys with Barcelona, 2 German cups with Bayern Munich. It's just so many trophies that this man has had. 4 major trophies in his 3 seasons as Man City head coach. 50% plus possession in 113 of 114 Premier League games. So Man City have had more possession than their opposition in all but 1 Premier League match since he's been there. I mean, that is just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. As a player as well, captain Barcelona to victory in the 1997 Copa del Rey. Failed to win a major trophy in 1 of 10 seasons. I'll repeat that. Failed to win a major trophy in just 1 of 10 seasons as an Arsenal head coach. Chance for Watford. And won the league title in 8 of 10 full seasons in management. 3 with Barcelona, 3 with Bayern Munich, 2 with Man City. The stats in front of me, I could go on. They are just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he's incredible what he's done. The way, I watch videos of his sessions and his coaching and just everything he does. When he puts on sessions, everything's for a reason. There's nothing like, like a lot of English managers or loads of managers would just go out and be like, come boys, let's have a 5-0 or let's just have an 8-a-side or a bit of this, bit of that. Every session that he does is for a specific reason, for a specific moment, to work on something for the game that's coming up, or a game that might be coming up in 2-3 weeks.
God. Amazing.
Chance for City. Sorry, Jay, ball whipped across.
Yes.
That might just is in depth, his detail that he goes into.
His detail into everything that he does, and that's why the teams and the players that he signs and the players that he gets, the way they're playing, is exactly how he wants them to play. And if you don't buy into that, he'll get rid of you. And he's ruthless like that. He's done it with a few players, and I just love the way that it is the Guardiola way of how he wants to do it, and every session that he does is based on how he wants the team to play.
It's interesting because he does, I think it was one of the reasons why maybe he didn't do so well in his first season. Maybe he didn't have the players that he wanted, but he really does. When you read about kind of his life in general, that's all he thinks about is football, and all his best friendships are with people he just talks about football. So he doesn't switch off at all, which I don't think is probably very good for his health, but it does mean that it's just he must just be such a dream to work under, like you were saying.
Doesn't he normally do about a few seasons at teams, then tends to move on? Is that kind of? Do you think that will happen at City? Do you think he'll move on maybe after next season?
Is that the only? I mean, as a Man City fan, let's be honest. There's not much you've got to worry about because you're witnessing phenomenal football. But if there is one worry as a City fan, is it that Pep may leave in the next couple of years?
Because I think Pep has shown in the previous managers, we've won with previous managers. Yeah. And obviously, a lot of that is down to the money that we have and the players we can bring in. And obviously, these are quality managers like Pellegrini and Mancini, quality managers. But the players that they had helped them so much. When it comes to Pep, we've won in such style, we're just such a different force than we've ever been with the money. I mean, City before that, we were getting nowhere near, of course. But to lose Pep, we lose.
Do you lose an identity?
Definitely, 100%. He brings an identity to any club.
Jesus is in.
Big chance. De Bruyne.
goes, right,
Sat him
Gomez.
down.
Oh,
3-0.
what a goal that is, Kevin De Bruyne.
Wow.
And that's why he's on.
Jamie O'Hara, talk to me about this finish.
Yeah, so Watford are actually on the attack. They've cleared it out of the box and the 6-yard box. They've headed it out. They've broken the counter. They've ended up 2v1 against Watford. I think
Game
it's
over.
Sterling just slips it into De Bruyne. He's one-on-one with Gomez, drops Gomez to the floor with a little cut inside. Doesn't panic, has another touch, and then just passes it into the bottom corner.
So calm, wasn't it?
So calm.
6 minutes after coming on as a substitute.
I mean,
You're laughing at that. It's just...
Yeah, because look at him. He's just the way he plays everything. I mean, Watford have thrown. Look, as I said, Watford have thrown everything at it.
Yeah.
Been done on the counter. 2v1. I think it's Jesus who passes it to De Bruyne.
That's quality.
Sits down Gomez. And yeah, just so composed.
Fantastic
That's game
finish.
over. 3-0. Half hour left.
And this scoreline's a bit better on Watford, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way they've played. I mean, do you think 3-0 it flatters City? But City have been brilliant on the ball. But for Watford fans watching this will be devastated they're losing 3-0 with the chances they've had, the few chances they've had.
What you've got to understand is the difference when you're playing at the top and at the very top, and why these are the cutting above, is that they're clinical. You know, Watford had their chances, they didn't take them. Man City get their chances, they take them.
Said at the start,
And
they've
that's
got
the
to take
difference,
chances.
you know, and that's why these players are on this money, and that's why they're winning trophies, because when they get the opportunities, they put them away.
Yeah.
And, you know, Watford, as I said, you have to take your chances against Man City.
And
they
you said
didn't
that as
take
soon
them.
as Watford had that 1-1 at 0-0, don't forget.
Yeah.
You said these are the chances they need to take.
Yeah.
They didn't take them. A matter of minutes later, the ball is in the back of the net. Ash, social corner, what are people saying? Let's go straight to you.
All the comments are very positive for City. Easy win for the citizens from Little Chris. Man City, yes, from Hadima. Got a couple of questions in. If we can start talking about
Yes,
City
let's do
success. From Luke H. Jamie, what was the best atmosphere you ever played in? North London derbies?
The North London derby was epic.
Yeah.
Incredible, you know, at White Hart Lane, amazing atmosphere because it's on top of it, and I think they've created that still with the new stadium. I loved White Hart Lane as a ground. Anfield for me was, you know, when you're walking out and they're singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," that atmosphere was, you know, really, really amazing. So, yeah, them two stadiums for me stand out as the ones that I love to play at. But White Hart Lane was, you know, special for me, just being a Tottenham fan and, you know, playing at the boyhood club that I'd always dreamed of being at.
Oh, another chance for City. Oh, whipped in.
Was it difficult playing at the club you support?
No, it was a dream.
No, in terms of like when it gets to the point where it's like, you know, I might have to leave at this point. That fear in the back of your mind that.
Yeah, I mean, I never wanted to leave Tottenham. I was kind of got to the point where I was like, it's probably time to move on because I wasn't involved as much as I wanted to, and had an opportunity to sign for Wolves on a really good contract, who were doing really well in the Premier League at the time. And, you know, Wolves are a massive club as well, with a massive following. So it was a step for me to go and be the number one in terms of at the football club. I was the guy that was going to be the marquee signing. It didn't work out for me in terms of being at that club. It didn't go well for me, and I kind of wish I stayed at Tottenham. But I mean,
Do you regret that move then, looking back at it?
yeah, I regret that
You do?
one. Yeah, I wish I stayed. I had a 3-year contract left with. I mean, we just got De Bruyne.
Oh, De Bruyne crossed in. Oh,
was it?
Goal.
Kevin De
Bruyne
Bruyne
has come on.
instant impact. Kevin De Bruyne since he's come on.
De Bruyne has come on and is absolutely dominating the game.
Like,
I mean,
Mahrez
it's so
cannot
good.
be annoyed at this substitute.
De Bruyne to score a brace in 90, another price boost was 10. It's on your screen right now. Kevin De Bruyne came on as a substitute. 6 minutes later, the ball was in the back of the net. Lovely goal from KDB. Kevin De Bruyne to score a brace was 10-1. Now 11-1 you can get, Jamie, that big price boost from Sky. But don't forget, you must be 18 plus, full terms and conditions apply. And the way that he's playing, you wouldn't bet against that.
No, I fancy him to score 100%. I think it's a great bet, to be honest. He's come on and just absolutely. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. He's just picking the ball up from everywhere. He's so good. I mean, he's such a special player. When you look at him, you think, wow. He's a bit like Gerrard in terms of he can bring a team up. He can bring the level up. He can do anything. You know, he can tackle. He can defend. He can score, shoot, pass. You know, he's quick. You know, he's a
Fascinating guy as well. I did an interview with him recently, which is on Soccer M's YouTube channel now, and he is so plug. But he's so honest and like he sits down. He's very calm, very relaxed.
Yeah.
And he's just a very honest guy. If you ask him a question, it's just he's very quiet and softly spoken. But when you hear him speak, he just speaks so much sense.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he's got so much knowledge.
Yeah, like an intelligent
and although
guy,
he's
yeah.
probably not the loudest person in the dressing room, you can tell that he's probably someone that is so respected by all of the Man City teammates.
I mean, it's been such a shame not having him this season, considering how well we've actually played. He's been really bad injury. I mean, me and Michael, for our fantasy at work, both came together and made a team. First pick was Kevin De Bruyne, and it's just been really unfortunate having him in, as well as Man City. But
double sub here. Sorry, James, cut you off. Double sub for Watford, Jamie.
Yeah, they took Delafeu and
Pereira
come off, and Success and
Andre Gray, I think. So what do you make of that? I mean, I suppose they just
I guess
they have
maybe,
to go for it now, don't they?
I think they're maybe going for it and maybe looking at it thinking maybe let's just give another of the boys that have done well for me this season
Do you think?
a chance, you know, and give them a game. But yeah, I mean, Delafeu's, I thought he played well, but he's obviously run out of steam and probably going to go really direct now and really physical with Andre Gray and Success and play Deeney up the middle. Looks like they're just going to go 4-3-3 and just try and go for it. So. I mean, you might as well go and lose this game 5-0 now.
Yeah, at least go for it. Yeah, well, of course.
I think they've done well, Watford, really. They just haven't been clinical enough. And as I said, you know, you will get punished against these teams.
Oh, dear.
It's a shame because they would have been built up for this game and everything, the whole hype and everything building up to it, thinking we'll have a chance, all the work they would have done on the training pitch, you know, all the tickets that they bought. You know, everyone thinking like we can do this, that special moment, and Man City turn up and just, you know, dominate you 3-0, and you're just thinking I can't get near them. You know, just shows you can't underestimate how good they are.
You mentioned the tickets there. Troy Deeney, 67 tickets. Troy Deeney purchased plus a box. And you said that you purchased a similar amount when you were in the
I bought 50 tickets for the FA Cup final. Yeah, it cost me quite a few quid. And I think I got like 3 or 4 free tickets off the club. And it's like, they don't get a lot of tickets. You'll be surprised, you know, like because they don't get a massive allocation of tickets. And if you want tickets, you'll have to buy them. I mean, for them, it's nothing. You know, it's a special day, a special moment. It's a one in a lifetime. They'd go and do that on a couple of bottles of Cristal afterwards, probably, you know. So.
But it illustrates taking it back illustrates the occasion of the
it's the occasion,
and it is 3-0 Man City, 67 minutes on the clock. Raheem Sterling to score the 4th goal in 19 minutes. Another price boost.
Sterling, 1-1.
Now 15-2. Man City with a chance to score. It's another goal. Manchester City and Gabriel Jesus has his goal. Jamie O'Hara.
Yeah, I mean Kevin De Bruyne again picks it up. It drops to him, he swivels with his back to goal, beats a player, and then just slots in Jesus. They've gone for it, Watford. They're left at the back, one-on-one again. Jesus just takes it into the box, brings out Gomez, and then just slots it past him underneath. 4-0. I mean, this is total domination now.
I mean, we're really seeing the quality of your beloved Man City now, James.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that people are questioning Gabi Jesus being on the pitch, I mean, it proves the depth, of our squad.
He could have 3 goals. He has pretty much scored 3 goals today, hasn't he?
Like, there's 2 things that are really kind of I wouldn't say frustrating maybe a funny thing to say with Man City, but the squad is like just phenomenal. We've had KDB out for the majority of the season, as I was saying earlier. Gabi Jesus hardly plays for, like when Aguero is fit, and then these 2 can come on and just be phenomenal. It's just,
I mean,
just be fortunate, just so fortunate to be.
Look, De Bruyne's come on, scored one, made one. You know, like that's the difference.
And the amount of passes he's made that have been like direct to a player in the box, ready for the key passes at the end of this game have been nuts. And he's only been on for 10 minutes so far.
And of course, this is now. We're just looking at it. Wow. We are just a big moment. We're just looking at the body language in Vincent Kompany and Troy Deeney. And Vincent Kompany just walked past Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney just went. Did that, didn't he? As if to
that
say,
was kind of saying this is getting embarrassing.
I think that's what he's implying there, because it was.
I mean, there's a respect. You know, I think they know each other actually, Vincent and Troy. I think they are friends. I mean,
oh my God,
he's so good. He is so good.
De Bruyne,
should be fine.
And for a man of Kevin De Bruyne's talent, that is surprising. Blazes over the bar, and I've got to start talking about biggest winning margins. Are we getting there? And apologies to Watford fans watching. It is 4-0. The biggest winning margin in a final was Bury 6, Derby 0 in 1903. The last hat-trick in a final, there's been 3 overall, was Stan Mortensen, Blackpool 4, Bolton 3 in 1953. Do you remember that one, Jay?
No.
But are we looking at a big score like this now, do you think?
Yeah, I think Watford...
Do you think there's going to be more goals for City in this?
I'm going to be honest, Watford have fell apart here.
Yeah,
do you think? I mean, like, there's going for it, and then there's... like, where are you at the back? You still have some kind of defensive, because, they will just punish you. If you keep giving it away in the middle of the park. And, you know, it's all right going for it and putting it in the box, but if you're leaving yourselves exposed at the back, they're just streaming forward. They're bringing on Sane now.
Another substitute. They're bringing on Leroy Sane. I mean,
I think Guardiola's looking at this now and will know, because I know he's all about records and stuff and trophies. He'll be looking at thinking, I want 7.
Yeah.
I want to get the record.
Do you think that is in his mind now?
Yeah,
Really?
100%.
Really?
That's how he thinks.
Wow.
He's an absolute winner. He will want the best of everything. If he gets
wants
to a
his
final,
name written in stars.
Exactly.
Chance for Watford, whipped in.
Good save.
Sit behind by Edison.
I think
it'd be
Garcia
nice
may
if
have made
they
a
got a
mistake
goal.
with taking off Delafeu and
massive.
Pereira off, because they basically just don't have a midfield now. You know,
Do you think they'll go in more direct now? That's what they're playing?
And Gray aren't going to drop into the midfield, are they? Really, they're not players who are adept to that kind of play. Like they've
Good chance
for Watford
here, yeah.
here. Good chance. Just dropped
Oh,
it
is
to
it?
the box.
Kapoo.
Kevin De Bruyne, though, is also, I mean,
Yeah.
we keep saying it, this game's been completely different since he's come
Yes,
on.
it has. Totally agree.
Changed it.
Completely changed the game since he's come on, KDB. And am I right in thinking Aguero's still not on the pitch yet? We were just talking about all the strength and depth they have on.
I think
he's
they
not
will
gonna
put
make
him
it, is
on. I think they'll put him on.
They've only
if
got one
you're-
more chance, don't they?
If you're
Will Hughes with a good
Craig
chance.
Cathcart, Jamie,
The company.
Sorry,
Sorry,
throwing
did you see
himself at
company
it.
then? Absolutely dived at the ball.
he does like that. If you're Craig Cathcart and you've probably been running all over the place, you know, against what is an unbelievable
Top
Man City
cleverly.
front line, and Aguero comes on, and it's another issue for him. I mean, what are you thinking?
I mean, when you're looking at Cathcart, when they keep scoring, they keep going to him. So they're obviously looking at him thinking the poor bloke is being left exposed at the back against the probably the best free front players in the country at the moment. You know, give or take. What chance have you got?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're out of their depth, Watford. You can see that. You know, they've completely been overrun by Man City in every department. And, you know, we're watching a special team. You can't get away from the fact that this is a special side. And, you know, they're going to go on and dominate. But to go and win a treble or quadruple, whatever you want to call it, you know, with the Community Shield, but... Now, this is a proper side, what we're watching here.
And here's the substitution. It's an attacking one as well.
Taken off the midfielder.
Gundogan is off for Leroy Sané, so they're going to have even more attack coming at them, aren't
It
they?
is a bit cruel.
Watford.
It is a bit cruel to put Son.
We're talking about like their strength in depth. We're talking about a lot about their strength in depth, but what do they do in the summer? What do they need to buy? Because
A left back.
a left back, but then
Left back, you think,
Mendy, when fit, is
Yeah, but when
unbelievable.
fit.
I know, but
when
he's never fit. That's the problem. He's had
Do you-
2 seasons.
As a
where he
manager, do you
hardly
say,
fit.
right, I'm going to have to cut my losses almost and not get rid
Interesting.
of him?
Will Hughes is off. Tom Cleverley's just come on. Substitution for another sub for Watford. Tom Cleverley is on the pitch now. Sorry, Ash.
Sorry, mate.
Great ball.
Yeah, Watford have got a good chance
Watford-
now.
That's not lucky.
He flashed it across the box. It wasn't a bad ball, to be fair. Andre Gray's tried to put it across early and get behind the back of the Man City back four, but that's where they've struggled, Watford. They haven't been able to get behind Vincent Kompany and is it Laporte and that. And that's the where you can hurt Man City. When I've watched teams, is if you get behind them, that's when they're in trouble. If you play in front of them as a back four, Kompany's so strong and so good that you can't break them down. They win headers. They're organised. You have to get beyond them.
That's
and
what
Watford have struggled with
That's
that.
what makes a Delafeu substitution.
Yeah,
so
I'm
strange,
really
'cause
surprised
He's
they
done it
took him
2 or
off.
3 times in this game already, and I
Really
mean,
surprised.
It's one of those things. If you leave him on the pitch, even if it's not going great, he can come up with something, and he might be able to change the game. But yeah, bizarre substitution.
Do you think that's because he's not a 90-minute player? He's an impact sub or starts the game and...
He was playing well.
playing
He was
very
drifting
well,
past people. He was he was trying to make something happen. You can have an organised side and you can be set up. But you still got to have that one player that makes a difference.
A bit of magic,
a bit of magic. And he might drift in and out of the game, but he'll be a person that'll get you back in it.
Would you always keep him on then?
Well, if you're going to start him, you might as well keep him on. Because if he was playing really bad, then obviously you're taking
course,
off.
yeah.
But he wasn't playing badly. I know they were losing the game, but he was someone that could probably make something happen. Maybe we could have gone to like a 3-5-2 or something. They kind of just went. They took off Delafeu and put on Andre Gray and Success, and we went like a 4-3-3. But then, the plans 4 at the back. But then they're 1v1 every time they've gone forward, and they give it away. And the guy at the back's on his own. So you're probably better to have gone to like a 3-5-2, left Delafeu on the pitch, and then gone with Deeney and Andre Gray up top, and then played Delafeu in the hole. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Man City to win this match. The FA Cup final 6-0. I'll repeat that. Man City to win 6-0 in 90 minutes was 7-1, now 15-2. Price boost with Sky Bet. We're now talking about, a 6-0 scoreline, which is realistic, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's just incredible, really, in an FA Cup final that we're talking about a 6-0 scoreline.
If they really want this, Man City, they could probably try and win and go for the record. I don't know if they know it's the record to go and... Was it 7-0 would be
6-0. Bury fans from 1903 will be gutted about that.
Yeah. I think,
down the road,
there's no point being in the same bracket as Man City and Bury. You might as well go for 7, you know?
You played at Gig Lane in your career?
Yeah, I have actually.
Have you?
Scored.
I have as well, in a charity game, yeah. Genuinely.
You're a decent player, to be fair. I've
Thanks,
played with
mate,
you in them
yeah.
charity matches. You're all right.
Yeah, I mean, Dean
You fancy a
Gatty
game
was
at
playing,
Billericay next season?
I'd love a game for Billericay.
Yeah, and we'll give you £5 a week.
Something tells me that isn't competitive with what you were on. When you,
Well,
I know what you were on when you told me.
Not enough.
That's the last time I saw you played in the charity game at Leicester, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got a couple of charity games coming up, actually, so they're really good to be great to be involved in then, you know? I love the charity games and... all for a good cause. So any of them charity games I love getting involved in.
Well said. Let's go to Social Corner. 4-0, 15 minutes left on the clock, Ash.
Yeah.
Is it just anything other than a City landslide now? What are people saying?
Nicole Evans has summed it up nicely. Don't be jealous with City, guys. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel jealous watching this performance. I wish my team played like this. Everyone's just saying there's so long to go still and they could get more goals. And it's looking likely.
I don't think they want to. I think they're just going to look at this now and enjoy the moment.
Do you think?
Yeah. I mean,
they're still...
Who's that coming on?
Certain players, I think
certain players will want to go for it.
Sane will want to.
Sane will want to go for it.
De Bruyne never does.
I think De Bruyne is probably looking at thinking, I've done enough, I've scored, I've set up one. You know, they're going to control the game and just enjoy the moment. But, I mean, they are there for the taking now, Watford. They really are. They've been completely overrun in the second half.
I obviously don't want to bring it back to the fact that you lost an FA Cup final because incredible achievement for anyone to get to. On a serious note, incredible achievement for any player to get to the FA Cup final. The point I'm making is when you spend weeks and weeks building up to, and yours was obviously a narrow loss, of course. Must be pointed out. Watford, weeks and weeks and weeks. This is a momentous, historic moment in Watford's history. They've never won an FA Cup before. Listening to the fans, you know, Wembley Way, beforehand, we saw shots of them and just what it means to them. It's just what they'll be feeling now, Jamie. You've been in this situation, losing an FA Cup final. How disappointing will this be for Watford?
As a player, this is the worst situation now. You're 4-0 down, you've got 15 minutes left, you're getting absolutely bopped off the park. You can't get near him. You're playing at Wembley in a cup final. You're thinking, really now you're just thinking, get me off this pitch.
You want it to end, don't you?
You want it to end. Like this is like, you know, when you're on the ropes as a boxer and you're waiting for a guy to just step in and say enough's enough. Mentally it's going to be tough for them to take. But you know, I think the fans have just got to look at it and think they've got to be really proud of their team. They're playing against a special Man City side. What they did in the semi-final against Wolves was an amazing moment for them as a club, and then that got them to the final. So I think they're going to be really proud of them. You know, they're in an FA Cup final against probably the best team that we're seeing in the last decade. And it's strange they're bringing on John Stones and not Aguero.
Interesting subject. David Silva off for
John Stones.
John Stones.
Yeah, he's played a few games at CDM, so it'll be interesting to see if he actually takes up that position. I'll be surprised. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but I thought our third sub was going to be Otamendi, for the fact that he's pretty much going to leave this season. But the fact he hasn't been played, I don't know if there's anything in that to
read. There's more in that then, you think?
Potentially, I don't know. I've been sat here for the last 15 minutes thinking, when is he going to bring Otamendi
on?
But seeing Stones come on, I don't know if it's just a tip of the hat.
Do you think they would just bring Otamendi on just to say goodbye?
Yeah, a bit of a kind of thank you because I mean he deserves it. He's been great for us.
Right. Yes.
If he is to leave, I
see what you mean.
Yeah.
But then me personally as a manager, I'll be thinking about the player that's staying
that's
here.
Probably
and John Stones is going to be their
probably
leader.
the difference between me and Pep there.
I would want to thank the player that I'm going to be at the club next season. He hasn't been in my starting 11 in terms of John Stones, but I'd want to put him on to be like, you know, you're still a massive part of my plans. I'm going to put you on in an FA Cup final.
It is interesting to see him play this like more advanced role, this centre defensive mid role.
Is that where he's playing?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's playing centre mid.
Really, I find it really fun because he really enjoys getting up, and you see him just hanging out.
I'm not going to put it out there, but he could be like a Busquets.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
In terms of like he can sit in front of a back four, he can play. You know, a lot of centre halves are blinkered. They only see like kind of what's in front of them, but in centre midfield you've got to see everything. John Stone has got that. He can see behind him. He's got that peripheral vision. So you know, and he's fantastic on the ball, and he passes it forward. A lot of players that play centre mid. You know, you can call them crabs. They just pass sideways. You know, and I used to hate them players. What I got taught when I was growing up at Arsenal in the academy in Tottenham is can you play forward? Can you play forward? Can you play forward? Every time you got it, what's your first thought? Pass forward. Then, if it's not on, then pass sideways. And that's what Guardiola does. Every time you look at the players, when they get it, they're always trying to look forward. You know, try and take players out of the game. Can you take 3 or 4 players out?
Chance City! Oh, it's another goal!
Bernardo Silva here.
It is Manchester City 5, Watford 0. I'm going to come to James Wayne for this. Man City fan. We are witnessing some incredible football here.
It seemed like everything was winding down, nothing really too expansive going on, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Bernardo Silva just charges at him, does a little skill, gets to the byline, passes it right across to the goal. Gomez can't get there, the defender can't get there. Sterling at the back post just absolutely hammers it. Gomez does get a hand, but into the roof of the net. He'll love that. Goal at Wembley. Absolutely loves Wembley, Sterling, and on for the record.
Unbelievable. The scoreline, when it was at 4-0, that was the joint biggest cup final winning margin at Wembley. The other finals that finished 4-0, that was 4-0 for Arsenal against Aston Villa in 2014. Of course, that is now redundant because it's 5-0 to Manchester City. The Bury 6-0 final win versus Derby in 1903, interestingly, was played at Crystal Palace. So this is the biggest cup final winning margin that's ever taken place at Wembley Stadium. It's not what Watford want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, they fell apart, Watford, haven't they, really? I mean, it's a good, don't get me wrong, it's a great goal, but he's easily got there. Watford are not near anyone now. They're sitting off, they're defeated. As I said, they want to get off this pitch. But the problem is, Man City are not going to stop. They're going to keep going. And, you know, Bernardo Silva's got the ball, he's done a little step over, got to the byline, but no one really got close to him. And then the back stick, they've switched off at the back. Sterling's not switched off, and he gets into the 6-yard box and scores. And now it's all about pride for Watford, and I've got to look at it and think, look, boys, we've lost this game. We're at, you know, the final's over. Our season's finished. Let's play with a bit of Sterling.
And a little nutmeg from Sterling there. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, my God.
Not another one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Imagine.
I mean, what's the season? Let's talk about Raheem Sterling. On and off the field, this man, credits to him, has just been brilliant to watch everything that he's done on and off the field this season.
Yeah, I mean, as a person, I think he's grown as a man. On the pitch, off the pitch, everything he's doing with football, within football and outside of football. But I mean, what a season on the pitch he's had. He's been incredible to watch. Everything he does, I think Guardiola's turned him into a world-class player.
You'd put him in that world-class bracket now?
100%. Yeah, I mean, look what he's done.
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah, I think what he's done this season, and, you know, he's consistent. You know, he's that, you know, world-class players have to do it on a consistent basis all the time, and he's done that. You know, Gareth Southgate is a picture of him, must be looking at thinking, wow.
Yeah, Gareth Southgate in the stands,
what they've got now, England, of young potential players that, you know, I think we're close to. I genuinely think if we can keep progressing as a team and as the players that are coming through, you know, you've got to look at the players that have also coming through with the 21 squad now, who are going to be real stars. You know, I think we've got a World Cup winning side.
Yeah, and obviously under-21s, Euros taking place in Italy this summer, of course. Big chance for under-21s for silverware as well. It's looking very positive for England across all the age groups, isn't it?
What's happened is Gareth Southgate's brought that whole England... you know, everyone wants to be part of England again, you know. There's a lot of negativity around the England setup. Players, fans were divided. You know, no one wanted to be involved in the England kind of thing, and it got really toxic to be part of it. Gareth Southgate brought all that back together. Everyone loves the England squad now. It's fun, it's enjoyable. When England are on, everyone wants to be involved in it. And that's really special because I think we lost that for a few years, and it was sad because, you know, it's the ultimate, it's the pinnacle of your career to play for your country. And you know, now with the players that we've got, you know, we're looking really
very
good.
exciting, isn't it? So we've spoken about England there and Man City. We haven't spoken much about Watford. I know it's been not the day in the game that they wanted, but we have to reflect on the season that Watford have had. Michael, I'll come to you. They have had a good season, and we've got to look at the positivity. And the fans are still there. Credit to them. They're waving their yellow and red flags. They've sold out their allocation. There's a lot of positives going forward. I know that they'll be devastated, but there are positives going forward for this. I mean,
this is their best season since Graham Taylor was manager in the 80s, and that's that's saying something. Obviously, I think that's when they got to the FA Cup final as well.
Another chance.
But yeah, and considering as well, I was looking up earlier, like they didn't spend an awful lot last summer, and they lost their best player in Richarlison, and they finished 9 points better off. They finished 3 places better off. Under a manager who wasn't necessarily that fancied until this season. Javi Garcia has done an amazing job. And you've got a kind of squad of players there who, a lot of them have been there quite a while. Obviously, you've got a very inspirational captain in Troy Deeney. He's always been, had the utmost respect at that club, hasn't he? And players like Capoue and Doucouré, who formed a very strong midfield bond. Players like Pereira, obviously, Delafeu has really come into his own over the last few months as well. So, Yeah, it's really positive for Watford, and I think you'd hope now other players will kind of look at Watford as quite a favourable place to go if they do have the pick of kind of other mid-table sides or lower mid-table sides in the Premier League. So I think it's only a good thing for Watford. It's just, just came up against
a great
such a crazy team.
Yeah, Mark makes a good point there, Jamie. Set new club Premier League records for wins, 14. Premier League records for points, 50. Previous best was 12 wins and 45 points. Most points in the top division season since 63 points in 86-87 season. The likes of Gerard Deulofeu with 12 goals. They've got the oldest starting 11 in the Premier League this season. There are lots of positives to take for them.
I mean,
which they won't be thinking of now, but
no, they won't be thinking of that
now.
now. But the fans, you can see, they're they're really passionate. They're all waving the flags. You know, they're proud of their team, what they've done this season. It's a fantastic achievement. Just to stay in the Premier League, is a fantastic achievement. So to do what they've done and the way they've played this season, they've been one of the best teams this season in terms of entertainment. The way they've done things, they're not a big club in terms of like a Chelsea, Man City, Tottenham. But, they will be able to attract players. Everyone in the world watches an FA Cup final. Foreign players, they'll be looking at thinking, Watford, is a club that I want to be part of. They've got a really good manager, a good setup, great set of fans. They're in London. And I think they'll be able to attract some really good players coming into the transfer market.
They've chopped and changed managers very regularly, too regularly, in fact. Surely, if that is to happen, they need to keep Javi Garcia there for a long period of time for consistency.
Yeah, I think,
Oh, Johnson! 6-0, Manchester City.
That is nuts.
It's Raheem Sterling again. What a season he is having, and what's... Wow.
I mean, they've just opened up Watford again. Even Guardiola's got his head in his hands. He can't believe how good they are. How good are they? Kevin De Bruyne has come on. He's scored. He's created every chance that they've had.
Wow.
He's set up this goal again. Sterling, another... it went out...
Hat-trick for Raheem Sterling.
They played through the middle, went out to De Bruyne. De Bruyne fizzed it across the 6-yard box. Sterling just... tries to guide it into the goal. Gomez makes a great save, comes off the post behind Gomez. Sterling carries on his run, taps it in. He's had 2 tap-ins, Sterling, and couldn't get any easier for him.
Have they given that first goal to him?
First Cup final hat-trick. First Cup final hat-trick for 66 years. So when you're talking about what Raheem Sterling is achieving this season, that is what he's achieving. It is not done very often. Yeah. As you say, off the post. The first one,
I feel so bad for Gomez,
I would be outraged because it was Jesus went in, but... Sterling, to be fair...
I think now Jesus would be happy for him because he's got the hat-trick in the Cup final.
And Jesus has scored.
Yeah, and he scored.
So if he hadn't scored, it might be different.
I mean, Gomez, poor bloke, 38 years of age.
Are you going to drop him a text just afterwards? Or
yeah, I'll be like, any danger of you capturing him?
I meant a nice text, Jack.
That bet we had on at the beginning, Sterling 3+ shots on target, 8-1.
Great shout.
That must be,
We all looked at that and said, what a bet that was with Sky Bet. 3+ shots, scored 3 goals.
I feel like his 3 shots on target have all gone in as well. I can't... Gomez really
we've got to go to Social Corner. Ash, let's get some questions, let's get some statements. What are people saying? This is a historic moment for Man City Football Club. The first time we've seen in Premier League history a club doing the domestic treble. I'm sure there's a lot of delighted City fans.
It's all what a team this Man City is, what amazing side. People are saying without Aguero, without Fernandinho, things like that. It's just all positive for City. They've absolutely smashed it. 6-0.
Guardiola genuinely was sat on the bench when they scored that 6th goal, and I think he's like, this is embarrassing. How good are we? He's probably looking at it. He must be really proud inside, but he must sit there and think, I'm so good. I am so good.
Do you think it's a respect thing as well?
It's a respect thing. He's not going to be jumping up and down. He knows they're in a different league.
Man of the match.
Wow. Can we just say, this is a very huge... interesting moment, should I say. Raheem Sterling scored a hat-trick in this match. Kevin De Bruyne's only come on as a second-half sub, and Kevin De Bruyne has been awarded the Man of the Match award, which illustrates what an impact he has had.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think Sterling, he scored a hat-trick in an FA Cup final. I know
surely
he'd be gutted not to get Man of the Match.
Sterling would have been gutted of that, surely.
Surely be a little bit. But, to be fair, it's just the impact that he's had since he's come on the pitch. I mean, Man City were dominating anyway, but he has come on the pitch and been unbelievable. I mean, every pass...
Was that handball?
Was that?
I mean...
City are brilliant that for that.
We've got another chance here on the edge of the box.
We're not going to see a 7th, are we?
Come on,
surely
that'll
be the record.
I love that. That's it.
Great catch. 89th minute, Gomez has caught one.
That's the last ball he catches in his career.
Oh, wow. We're looking at shots of Pep Guardiola. Very calm, very collective, and he's right. It's almost like he wants the whistle to go. rather
think
than
he's thinking
7
about
to go
next
in,
season
out of
already.
respect to the opposition. I remember that famous incident, Javi Garcia, do you remember, when Spain were playing Italy in the Euros, and he said, respect for the Italians when Spain were winning by a large margin, asked for the whistle to be going, because there is that respect issue when you play at a high level. And I think it's what we're witnessing with Pep now. He's obviously delighted with this result, but at the same time, he uses class, doesn't he?
Yeah, he uses class, and he knows that Watford are not on their level. Do you know what I mean? He knows that the players that they can attract, the players they've got, the club, everything. You know, he's going to respect the fact that they've had a really good go. Their fans and everyone have bought tickets. They're going to be really proud. The players have given 110%, but you know they're out of their depth. You know, you can't get away from the fact that this Man City team are the best team that we're seeing in so many years.
Chance for Watford, or...
Go on, give us one.
I have a feeling if they did score, their fans would really celebrate it as their
of course.
their consolation. De Bruyne on the board. De Bruyne is just absolutely tearing it up. Sterling is in again.
4. Go on, hit it.
No.
He's
Oh
too
my God, it's 7.
John Stones.
Oh, what a save! What a
yes,
save!
Gomez.
What a save from Gomez.
I mean, what
John Stones in the box.
Why did Sterling not shoot there? Interesting, wasn't it?
Well, I think
Sterling
it's just-
chose to pass that.
That was the right decision.
Yeah, no, I think he's made the right
not even that
decision.
bad.
Think he has, yeah.
De Bruyne again opening up their midfield, put Sterling in. Sterling could go himself, passes
it's a
it
good
back
shot.
like a little 4-yard pass back to John Stones, and Gomez makes a great save.
Good save, that, wasn't
Makes
it?
a great. I mean, John Stones probably should have scored. He got to put it in the corner, but that was for the record as well.
This is
It
mental.
was for the record, yeah.
6-0.
And it's still going on. We're in the 91st minute. There are 2 minutes of injury time. It is 6-0. De Bruyne whips the free kick corner in, sorry.
Go on, hit it. Oh, he's done it.
my God.
Oh, wow. Would that have been the goal of the day from Leroy Sané? Not on the score sheet yet, but...
I'll be interested to see, because we were looking obviously at their run into the final earlier. They beat, what did they beat? Rotherham 7-0, then they beat...
They did, yeah.
They beat someone else 6-0 or
Yeah,
5-0, then beat Newport 4-1. I'd be interested to see whether this is the most goals a top flight team has scored in an FA Cup run, obviously.
7-0 they beat Rotherham,
Yeah.
5-0 they beat Burnley, 4-1 Newport County. But they're made to work hard, 3-2 against Swansea away. And
should have lost that
VAR
game.
decisions of
Two-nil down.
No, realistically, we
and
should have lost
1-0
that
against Brighton. The 1-0
over.
game.
Oh,
There
go.
is the full-time whistle. The match finishes.
Wow.
Manchester City 6. Yes, that isn't an error. That is the exact score. Man City 6, Watford 0. Man City are crowned FA Cup winners 2019, and of course do a historic domestic treble. This has never been done before. So huge congratulations to Manchester City. Jamie, just quick reflections on what we've witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, De Bruyne come on in the second half was unbelievable. The players that they've got in their squad, Watford, they had a really good go. They wasn't clinical enough in the first half. Scored in the first 20 minutes when they had the chances, then it might have been a different story, but they run out of steam, Watford. Man City took over, the class come out in the end, and it's been a really long afternoon for Man City. But they have to take the positives out of this, Watford. It's an incredible season for them. They've got to an FA Cup final, but you're coming up against a team who have been relentless all season. No one's been able to stop them. And, yeah, they're probably the best team we've seen in the last decade.
James, congratulations as a City fan. A historic moment, domestic treble. And were surprised with how one-sided that was, bearing in mind, in the Premier League this season, Watford 1, Man City 2, and Man City 3, Watford 1. They've been quite tight games between Watford.
That's what I'm saying. I mentioned earlier that there are a few kind of mid-table teams that really upset big teams, and Watford are one of them. I'm very surprised with this result, especially the way Watford started. The first 20 minutes, I think Watford could have easily been in the lead, potentially even 2-0.
Yeah.
You know. And it's just the second half. I mean, yes, we were up, but the Kevin De Bruyne substitution was genius. I mean, absolutely turned this game on its head. Obviously, you can't say we're anything but right deserved winners. But I mean, I'm a bit annoyed I haven't seen Kevin De Bruyne play his whole season, considering that's how much he can do on the football pitch.
Isn't it? Unbelievable.
It's such a shame that we've missed out on De Bruyne for this whole season with this team.
You know how good it is as a City fan when you've just won the treble and you say, I wish De Bruyne had played more. They're the problems that you have.
How do you feel about that, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing. Yeah, it's really been a great day. Last game I was on was Liverpool 4, Barcelona 0 as well. Fantastic, mate.
You need to stop going on the social, mate.
Yeah, I really do.
Michael, let's get your thoughts on this Man City team, comparable. We've spoken about the Arsenal Invincible team, the Man United treble-winning team. Where does this Man City team rank in terms of the greatest Premier League teams of time because they've got to be up there.
They're pretty much there, aren't they? I mean, I jokingly said to James the other day that they need to do it 3 in a row, like United did a couple of times. And I still think they need to win the Premier next season just to consolidate it. But they're going to get 90+ points again next season. There's no doubt about it. Probably will win the league unless Liverpool really invest this summer, or unless they injuries go against them. But like we saw, De Bruyne has been out the whole season and they've still got 98 points. Like, how many more points would they have got with him on the pitch? It's really difficult to see. Like how City they just need to do the Champions League now, don't they?
No, they're not going to get worse.
Unless Guardiola leaves.
Yeah, 100%.
But even if Guardiola leaves, like he left Barcelona in such good nick, he left Bayern Munich in such good nick, like it would still take a few years for them to regress, really. Like,
and actually, they're such a well-run club. You can see them making the right appointment next as well, not like United, basically.
I think the average age as well has been taken down since Pep started. I think we're quite an ageing squad. We had the Zabaletas, Kolarov still there at the club. Now we're looking at the squad, everyone's very young. I think Rodri we're in for potentially this summer, 22. Like, everyone's so young, and it's going to live on.
Ash, some great questions from social corner. Thanks very much throughout the show. Before we go, final thoughts from what people are saying on social.
I'd like to round up with a nice question from Kid FDG. Who will stop City's dominance? Who's going to do it?
Liverpool.
Is Liverpool the only team that can do it? Do you think Spurs, Chelsea, United, they've got anything, any chance of catching them?
I think in the next couple of years, the only team that are going to be anywhere near Man City is Liverpool. Tottenham potentially, if they invest, and keep Pochettino. But, I don't think they're going to be on the level of Man City. Liverpool, they've got some players that they probably could get rid of now in terms of age-wise. And if they invest heavily with some real young, top-quality players, then they could have a chance. Especially if they win the Champions League, they're going to be a massive boost in terms of players that they can attract. But, they're on another level in terms of class, dominance, the way they play, everything about that football club. It's all right being a billionaire owner with a billionaire football club, but you've still got to create that environment, and that is not easy to create. Let me tell you, with world-class players, they've created an environment which is unprecedented. You can't get better than that. They're at the pinnacle of their sport.
Yeah, unbelievable. Looking at scenes now, the players just embracing all the coaching staff, everyone. It's been a great Football Social. Big thanks to all our guests. Before we go, just a quick reminder that we are back very shortly, actually. Big playoff final. Football Social. Aston Villa against Derby. Championship playoff final. Huge game. The richest match in football. They called it 2:45. Soccer and Football Daily's YouTube channel. Monday, May the 27th. Big thanks to our guest, Jamie O'Hara, by the way. What a debut that was, guys. Unbelievable. Are you going to come back on?
Yeah, I'm going to take your job.
Apparently there's no slots. Thank you very much, mate. Great to have you on. Great insight.
Pleasure,
Good luck with all the Billericay stuff and the punditry, everything you're doing. McCubbin, although it wasn't the result you wanted as a United fan. Enjoy
to be here, I guess.
James Wayne, any smug words as a City fan? Go on.
I don't know, it's all on the pitch, isn't it? I don't need to say anything. It's just been brilliant,
And Ash, your whole season has revolved around misery from start to finish.
Thanks, mate.
Any final words?
Yeah, come back and watch Football Social again. I won't be on it.
At least in the playoff final, whatever happens, surely you won't be unhappy.
No, exactly that. You're right.
Big thank you to all of our guests. We'll be back to the Football Social for the playoff final. We will leave you with our best bits. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
You're not playing.
Go on, Denso. Get him in. Put him in.
Watford have got big chance. Big first moment in the game.
If you're going to have a weak link in Man City's team, you would say it's Zinchenko.
You think that's now?
Zinchenko with a great ball.
Gomez.
Gomez spilt it.
There's the clanger.
Yes.
Oh, no, Silva.
Chance for City.
Manchester
City. First goal of the day. It's that man, Savage Silva. Can we go even further in on Ash's devastation? Let's talk about Man United season. Ash, any words you want to say?
Fantastic. Ollie's at the wheel. Hey, still at the wheel. When you played with Kevin Prince Boateng, did you think he would one day go on to play with Messi?
No. No, not at all.
When you speak to Stephen Gerrard, what kind of, do you speak to him about Rangers, if he's enjoying it, what kind of approach he has, or is it asking him advice? How do the conversations go?
Yeah, I just asked him a bit of advice on going into management and going into coaching and putting on sessions. I actually asked him for a job as well.
Is that an exclusive there on the Football Social? There you go.
You need, you
What
know,
did he say?
he was like, maybe not.
You see the two blue ticks, and he's not replying. I know you've read it. 6-0, Manchester City.
That is nuts.
It's Raheem Sterling again. What a season he is having, and what's... Wow.
I mean, they've just opened up Watford again. Even Guardiola's got his head in his hands. He can't believe how good they are.